Hey everyone and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and let's dive into this 772nd stream, shall we? Bonus stream. Hey yo. I suspect it might be a few moments before folks arrive. I really did just hit the go live button. Yeah, not much prep, not much for warning, I guess, whatever you want to call it. This is a fairly spontaneous stream. So I am just going to chat a little bit and we'll kind of see how things get going. Just taking a look at my setup here. Hey, how's it going? What's up, Kai? Well, not a whole lot, I'll say. I've just been hanging out today, and thankfully, it's been really cool. I got a lot of yard work done. We have a pretty nice big backyard, and so I ended up mowing it this morning, and then doing a lot of kind of edging and just a bunch of really nice detail work, string trimmer, and all that good stuff. And it was really pretty awesome. I ended up getting to expose this pump, like it's a pump, an old style, the red cast iron pump that goes into the ground. And I believe we have an artesian well in the back, and so it actually had gotten overgrown with this like beauty grass. It was real tall, kind of something you'd see on the coast. And so just by virtue of me doing a little bit of detail work here, I was able to kind of get to that, and it was really nice. So I ended up having some fun picking some blackberries with Mana Sprout and filling a bucket for really no reason with water from that pump. But that was one of the cool things. And you've been playing Mario Kart. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying the update. I think the update is live now. I'm going to be playing the new Mario Kart update tomorrow and doing a little tournament. That being said, I'm not against playing it tonight either. I believe it is actually out. I, again, have no agenda for tonight. But you also hung out with, I don't know who that is. Evil Imp. I don't know. And you played some Jackbox. Apparently this is someone who does Animal Crossing New Horizons stuff. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not sure who they are. Bonus stream, Scooter. It is indeed a bonus stream. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, we're gonna be just chatting for a few minutes, and then we'll take it from there. I don't really know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't have a plan. Here, I'm gonna do this though. I'm gonna see. Ooh, my mic is all out of order. If I kind of go back here, I like that better. Maybe I'll just, sorry for that. I'll do that. No, that's about where I was. I don't know. Between streams, sometimes I move things a little bit. And, and so I was noticing that I was a little bit closer than I normally am. Anyway, Fortnite could do. Very much could do. Ah, yes. We were talking, there's the new Mario Kart DLC that's out there. Oh, last night actually it was really fun. I got to hang out with Iron Rusty and we played chess. Of all things, there's a website I'm sure there's plenty of these, but there's a website where you can play chess for free, and so I signed up and he had an account and he recommended it. So that was a lot of fun. We ended up playing several games and I won one. Yay! He's a lot better at chess than I am. Couldn't work today because your car broke down. I'm sorry to hear that. Dang it. Shoot, that's no good. So, well, what does that mean? Is it something that's going to be expensive? Or was it just something where maybe you needed a little bit of mechanic TLC? I don't know. Tux, hey Tux, how are you doing? Loving the emote. Good to see you. Welcome on in. We're just chatting for a bit, hanging out. and I'm open to suggestions. If people want to play something with me, if you want to see me continue Obi-Wan, I can do that. If you want to see me, uh, you know, watch me play something, then I can do that. I can turn the Switch on. If you want to play with me, feel free to throw out a suggestion. I put in the information for this stream that I had some plans that would have meant that I wouldn't have been available tonight. And wouldn't you know it, all of those actually fell through. And I mean, several. Like this was, there was one, and then that got replaced, and then there was another, and then that got replaced, and then there was another one, and then that one fell through. So this is where I'm at. Ooh. Oh, nice, Tux. Oh, that's awesome. Well, kudos for doing something so worthy, and I hope that you come up with a really excellent design. Yeah. All the best to you for that. Hopefully it's going to be something that will serve them well and improve their life. Scooter. That is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Tires are expensive. No joke. Although I will say if your tire was purchased from a place like Les Schwab, maybe it'll be covered under warranty. A lot of times they are. If it wasn't, right, that's nothing to slouch at. If it wasn't, you could maybe get something as a temporary tire until you can purchase a new one. Oh, hey, my mind works in strange ways. I was thinking about how I know that right now money's a little tight for you, Scooter. I know you and Kendra are raising money, and because of infertility, and so I was thinking about how, I know you're a collector like I am. You love buying video games and whatnot, and how I know that is something that you've had to pause for a little bit. And I was thinking that, oh, there goes Manichug barking in the background. I was thinking that you, of course, have a Mortal Kombat arcade one-up machine as one of the many things in your collection. That got me thinking today there was an announcement that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it's official. It's going to be an arcade one-up machine. Super exciting about that. Total blowout. Oof. Yeah, and Tux, $500 for 4 new tires. That's not inconceivable. I mean, yeah, tires are expensive, but we've had pretty good luck with Les Schwab as a company. I imagine they're all over the continental or contiguous states, and they are pretty good about even if you didn't buy the tires there. Sometimes they can get you going with something that's like an older worn tire or something in the meantime. I don't know. Maybe you've got someone that's local that can do it for you. I mean, yeah. I don't want to presume anything here, but just throwing out what little I know, what little experience I've had. Never heard of that company? Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's do a thing here. Let's do a thing. I'm going to pull this up here. Let's see here. Les Schwab. I'm going to... Suddenly we're... Hey, I told you I had no agenda. So now we're suddenly going to be looking at a Les Schwab tire website. Possibly, anyway. Maybe not. I don't know. Actually, let's see. Let's try this here. Multiple windows opening up. this. See what happens. Let's actually just take a look. Boy, they've got. Well, let's see here. Let's look and see. Les Schwab. I want to just look and see first before we do anything. Michigan. Let's just see if they have any stores, locations. Michigan. Oops. Nope. It is apparently it's a Pacific Northwest kind of deal. Yep. So never mind. I won't bother with that one. But suffice to say that what it is it's a it's not true. Just chatting stream, right? Yep. Oh, nice, Scooter. Thank you so much. Well, maybe we'll do something together, shall we? Impromptu. I was looking and there wasn't anyone on my follow list at the time. But yeah, no. Anyway, Les Schwab. Yeah, it's all Pacific Northwest and some California, but I think Northern California, anyways. So, anyways, yeah, it's not gonna be out there for you, but they're really good with tires. It's a great company to deal with. You know, not that I'm sponsored or anything like that, but I've had good luck. So, whatever the equivalent out there might be, hopefully it's good to you. And Tux is absolutely right. There are places that do sell used tires, so that could be a helpful thing. But hey, I'll tell you what. You know what we need to hear is Bottom Mana. Could you tell us a little joke here? After several puns and jokes about Mana failing to steal a shovel in Link's Awakening, swirly-eyed Link said, "I'm trying to get a handle on these jokes." Very good. Very good. I like the ones that are part of our history. Also, if you've noticed, actually, the two jokes that were shared today from Bottom Mana, both of them happened this year in 2022. I went back. I had a long list of jokes to add, so now there's jokes all the way from the last couple of years that have been added back in. So there's more jokes, and we're not getting that strange, the duplicate joke thing that was happening for quite a long time. Fix that as well. So now there's just one joke, and there's more jokes, and the community submitted jokes are in there, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, although the pun response is fairly samey, so Bottom Mana, you might need to up your game on that. Anyway, is there anything that you would be interested in playing in particular? Or we could also take a look at... actually, you know what would be fun? I don't know if I'd be able to hook it up easily, but boy, wouldn't it be fun to actually play some Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Let's take a look at the Arcade 1-Up website. Let's do that. Shall we? Take a look at this, because this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. My goodness, they do. Well, we'll give you the full experience here. So first, let's pop down here. Click a couple buttons, and we'll be in business. So, here we go. And let's really do this right by going. There we go. All right, so this is the website here. And let's go over. Okay, so we don't want the free shipping right now. Maybe later. We'll X out of that. Okay, here we go. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Wi-Fi enabled for online play. challenge and battle against your friends from around the country. Pre-orders open September 8th. You probably cannot see that. Let's zoom in a bit. I like to zoom into these things. Boom, 400? Is that too much? Let's take a look at this here. I mean, that's a pretty spiffy looking arcade cabinet. Now, I don't know. I'm not actually sure what the original Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet looked like, to be honest. And partly because I think it was a conversion kit. So if you know, like, this happened a lot. So there's an arcade cabinet and, all these arcade, whatever, what am I trying to think of? Like arcade curators, arcade operators. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. All these arcade operators would purchase this cabinet. And then like the next big thing comes out from that company. And so you'd buy a conversion kit. And so instead of actually replacing the whole unit, the cabinet, the monitor, the control panel, instead you basically would swap out the PCB, the board that had all the chips, that had all the ROMs that ran the game, on that side, all the electronics. And then you would slap the artwork in there. So maybe you have a new marquee, so that'd be the lit marquee. You take out the old glass marquee and replace it with the new one, and maybe you get the vinyl sides and you just slap those on the sides. And so this was a common practice, and I believe, well, let's just take a look here. I believe that was the case with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Let's look it up. Capcom 2. We're gonna look this up on the old Wikipedia. We're also gonna look up Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Good Old Games. No, not Good Old Games. What is it? Not good. What is it called? I'm trying to think. What's the name of it? BYOG? Is that what it is? I can't think of what site it is that I usually see this on. Let's take a look. Wow, yeah, there's not a lot of pictures of it. Let's see. This is one from Reddit. And it's not the prettiest. I'll keep this though up so that we can take a look at it. Assuming it will let us. Hold on. I'm just going to set this all up for us, and then we can see. Open image in new tab. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. It's surely not the nicest image, but it's okay. All right. Here we go. So, first of all, there's some jokes being said. It was Pixel Knight. Hey, Pixel Knight is here. What is up, Pixel Knight? Pixel Knight comes in trying to do the flying kick from Street Fighter and goes above Mana's head and crashes into the wall. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. I got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in right now, but I know you're doing that in the morning. Scooter says, I'd be happy to do that. And speaking of Capcom, how about Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers? Yeah. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection 2. Scooter, I love this. This looks cool, but I'm nervous if I pick up... I'm nervous if the pricing... if that pricing, especially for just one game... Hold on. Nervous of that pricing, I think is what it... might have been a typo there. Wikipedia, Scooter says. Yeah. It's not just the one game, and I'll explain in a minute. But first, let's just take a look at this here. So this is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, and a little bit of history for that. Can you read that? Is that big enough? I can make it a little bit bigger, maybe. Let's go to 250, maybe. I'm always conscientious of the fact that Wikipedia articles, or really any text online. If I'm sharing a screen, I try to make it so that you can actually read it here. But okay. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes is a crossover fighting game developed and published by Capcom, and it is the 4th installment of the Marvel vs. Capcom series. And it gets a little bit... I'm going to share some little history here. And Scooter can read this, so this is good. I'm going to share a little history that you may or may not know, but I'll kind of get to that in a moment. First of all, here's just let's hover that over that. I think it showed a nice picture when I hovered. No? Huh. It did show it. Weird. Don't know why it stopped showing it. Anyway. Look at all these characters that you can play as. Good reception. Now, it came out... Obviously, the arcades, PlayStation 2, Xbox, Dreamcast. Well, what other... I know it was more than that. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom here. Oh, here. It'll show us right here. Platforms. Arcade, Dreamcast, iOS, PlayStation 2 and 3, Xbox, and Xbox 360. The Dreamcast version is what I have. Is that over... I can't quite remember where I put that, actually. In fact, I think... Let me double check here, but I think that... Well, here, let me also show you this. Do you know what? I actually think I'm wrong. I don't have the Dreamcast version. I have the PlayStation 2 version. But anyways, here, this is what I wanted to show you. This is somebody's cabinet. I don't know who this is. I don't have any clue here. This was just something that popped up on Google Images. I probably shouldn't actually be showing this because I don't have the rights to this image. But I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk here. It looks like somebody who sells these. This was probably a listing, an online listing here. This is what the cabinet looked like. Now, what you can kind of see here, and this is probably, if I can maybe zoom in a little bit here. This is can I now go this way? So there's some glare on this, but this is definitely that kind of gray, speckled look that you can see on the arcade 1-up version. Of course, this is getting pixelated here, but black here, no side art on this to note, so that's interesting. Bezel right there. That's actually just Marvel vs. Capcom. Oh, this is just Marvel vs. Capcom, and this isn't even number 2. So anyway, so this is a very basic kit here. Now, if we go back to the arcade 1-up, you'll see that it's got the speckle, and then this is the marquee for 2. So that's more along the lines of what I was thinking the other one would be, but that was actually just Marvel vs. Capcom 1. So that wasn't even what I wanted to show you. But then there's some artwork here. I still can't find anything. I'm gonna take another look here. I can't seem to find. Yeah, I don't want to just Google search, because you never know what you come across and stuff. And I don't want to, have some image that's not, I don't have rights to and whatnot. But let's just Google search for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again, and let's see if we can't find a better image of the cabinet. I'm not seeing it. Well, okay, here we go. Clove, that's what I was trying to think of, was the Clove website. So here we go. This is more what I was trying to find. And let's get rid of that. Okay. So, Clove. If you're not familiar with Clove, well, I'll show it to you in a second here. You know what, Scooter? See, I mean, I didn't play a lot of these games in the arcade, but I played a decent amount. But this is the killer list of video games, CLOV, Museum of the Game, International Arcade Museum killer list of video games. Okay, so one of the things that's nice about this is that they have photographs documenting the look of the different cabinets. So here's the marquee. That looks just like the marquee that we were seeing on Arcade 1-Up. Now, this is interesting. This is definitely not... I mean, I don't know if this is like someone's homemade thing, if it's a conversion. I don't know what this is, to be perfectly honest. But here we go. This is more like it. So is this the Big Blue? This is the Big Blue, isn't it? I believe Big Blue, this is kind of what some of the Street Fighter games were in. It's a really tall cabinet, this enormous marquee, and the speakers that dominate right above that screen. So that's probably unsurprising. That actually looks like that's an X-Men side art too. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little tricky to see. Let me get a little bit bigger there. Can you see that? Oops. I'll go back to it. See? X-Men right there. So, yeah. In any event, then we have Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes description. Produced by Capcom in 2000. So this is a more modern arcade cabinet, you know, sort of right towards the end of the arcades, before we got into a lot of mobile ports and things like that, and kind of big flashy arcades that issued the pixel graphics for 3D graphics. And then here's just a bunch of screenshots. So there you go. So looking at that again, so Big Blue, and that's a different marquee altogether, but you can see this marquee. So I don't know where this came from exactly. I'm sure this was probably part of the conversion kit. Sometimes it will tell you, conversion class, Sega Naomi original. Okay, so conversion class, this is interesting. I think what this means, conversion class, these are the cabinets, if I'm not mistaken, that would all kind of share a basic JAMA harness, which is the way of plugging in all the controls and stuff like that, and you know, and maybe the same shape, basic shape. Obviously, some of these though, like the House of the Dead 2, that would be a light gun game. So I suppose you could do a conversion where you'd also just swap out a panel, maybe. Crazy Taxi, that's another one. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm not explaining this well, or this isn't what I'm thinking it is. But the following games have been tagged as having the same conversion class. I don't really know what the conversion class means then. But anyway, there you go. So let me give you a little bit more info on this. So, I mean, they've got a whole video. Maybe we'll watch that real quick. Let's watch this.
Ready?
That's good, isn't it?
Versus Capcom 2.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? So let's just go to this real quick. Spawn had an arcade game? That's a good question. We'll look that up in a moment here. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. All right, so here we are. Marvel vs. Capcom New Age of Heroes logo. Look, I never noticed that's basically, what is that? Courier New. But I did miss some comments here from Scooter. let's see. It was animated violence, mild. The reason I played a lot of the arcade is because I had to go to my little brother's hockey practice, and my dad gave me money for their arcade games at the hockey rink. Yes. Oh my gosh. I also recall a lot of great arcade machines at both the roller rink and the ice rink. So yeah, it included Marvel vs. Capcom, Lethal Enforcer, Area 51, and War Gods. Oh, War Gods! If that's what I'm thinking of, that's like it's. I think you and I might have talked about this. It's not like a great game, but I think you have a lot of nostalgia for it. Is that what you said? I think it is. So did Spawn have an official one? I don't know. We'll look a little more at that in a moment. But let's take a look at this. I'll go back down to that. Okay. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is back. So we've freed Marvel vs. Capcom 2. There was like all these licensing issues. Bringing back the iconic fighting game that has been unavailable since 2013, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arrives on Arcade 1-Up with Wi-Fi Play. But I love it. Scooter says, yeah, it's an okay game at best, but I love it. So there's Wi-Fi Play, and get this. Okay, so the marquee title is always listed first with these cabinets. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But they also have Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, and then 2 other games, which are actually console games. These are Super Nintendo games: X-Men Mutant Apocalypse and Marvel Superheroes Marvel Superheroes in War of the Gems. So these 2 games right here are actually Super Nintendo games. Yeah, and Scooter goes, okay, I'm way more interested in this now. So there are currently, I think, 4 numerical Marvel vs. Capcom titles, but the origin or the genesis of this, as I understand it, we might have to go back to the old Wikipedia, is actually, let's see, Marvel vs. Capcom series. Yes, the Marvel licensed fighting games Capcom did, X-Men Children of the Atom and Marvel Superheroes. These were actually the first titles, in a sense, the spiritual predecessors of the other arcade cabinet, Marvel vs. Capcom. So X-Men Children of the Atom is actually one of my favorite arcade fighting games. It's just fun. But I think this one actually, it's probably for many people a little rough around the edges. It's kind of as you compare it to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, for example, which is almost like the pinnacle of the series. Yeah, this is a great one. Never been on a Nintendo platform. War Gods, you're saying, Scooter. I think is that what you're saying? Okay. So gameplay has much in common with Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Darkstalkers. Children of the Atom adds a combo system, and there's tactical maneuvers, rolls, all these kinds of things. It's a really fun arcade cabinet. Then there's Marvel Superheroes, and this one is loosely based on the Infinity Gauntlet storyline of the Marvel Universe, so which we know very well from the Marvel movies, right? Oh, War Gods is on Nintendo 64. Yes, of course. But Marvel vs. Capcom games, yes, not on Nintendo consoles, indeed, unfortunately. So this is, basically the gems, right? Actually, I take that back. The X-Men game is fun. This one I think may actually be more fun because there's a neat little mechanic where you get these infinity gems, and it gives you different special abilities within the game. So this is actually a pretty cool little game, little title right here. But yeah, all that to say that there's sort of the origin right there for you. And you can tell. I mean, look at this. This is right out of. Or sorry. Well, yeah. I was about to say that looks like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Ha! Because it is. Silly me. Let's go back to the X-Men one. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 brought in polygonal 3D backgrounds, but let's go where I just saw it. Hold on. Oh, let's see. Why can I not find that? Let's just do this. There we go. Marvel versus Capcom, and then there we go, and then X-Men. Okay, so screenshot from here. So yeah, look at that. I mean, so this has pixelated backgrounds, but otherwise, doesn't that look similar? Right, close to what Nintendo got with was closest Nintendo got was Tatsunoko versus Capcom on the Wii. Great game. I agree. I love Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. But anyway, getting back to this one here. So X-Men versus Street Fighter is really if we were to sort of put this in a chronological order, that's the first game. Excuse me, no, X-Men Children of the Atom is the first game. Then you'd have, in terms of release, I should say, and I'm only focusing on the arcade games, X-Men Children of the Atom, and then Marvel Superheroes, and then X-Men. I can't remember if X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter came first. I think it might have been X-Men versus Street Fighter, then Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, then Marvel versus Capcom, and Marvel versus Capcom 2. So you've got the whole arcade lineup right there. You can basically go through the whole history up to Marvel versus Capcom 2, which I would even argue to this day is still the pinnacle of the series. Once it started to go to more polygonal 3D graphics, it lost a lot of its charm, its style, and even its gameplay. So that's a little unfortunate. But the other two games here, Mutant Apocalypse and War of the Gems, these are side-scrolling beat 'em up / platformer games. Now you might be wondering what is the deal with having two console games on an arcade cabinet? Well, typically I would say, just leave them out. I've been critical of Arcade 1-Up on this point in the past. It seems like a strange thing to include a game that isn't actually an arcade game, almost as odd as having a game in the wrong aspect ratio when you're making these replica cabinets. But in this case, there's actually some logic to it, because in both games, first Mutant Apocalypse actually has some similarity of its sprite work and special moves. It was, I think, developed around similar times as these arcade games. And so there's actually kind of a linkage there. And then with War of the Gems, of course, that's the Infinity Gem saga. So that is fitting in story-wise with a lot of these games, especially with Marvel Superheroes, which is really digging into that. So kind of cool. Pixel Knight's back. Dog wasn't being a punk. Oh no. So that's a little bit of why those two games are in there. And as Super Nintendo games, they're not quite up to the power of the was it CPS 2, I think it was, for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But they look really good, and they don't look very out of place, I would say. Oatmeal, hey, how's it going? So here we go. So pre-orders start 9/8, ships just a few weeks after. I believe, let's see, 56 characters, by the way, in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Look at that. Well, that's a nice little animation. I like that. And then, I always gonna take you for a ride. Anyway, love that theme song there. So here we go. And there's Wi-Fi play. Look at all these games. Looks to be a pretty comfortable control panel. I do like that artwork. Zangief with the Popeye eye. I'm still scared of the pricing, Scooter says. Yeah. Oatmeal, I hope you're doing well. Nice to hang out with you the other night. By the way, Justin Wong, 7-time MVC2 champion, MVC2, has been freed. There was a stream where he was being interviewed. He actually had a role in the porting of this game so that it and the Wi-Fi enabled live play would just be spot on. So that's good. Gar, hey Gar. Pixel Knight says one fighting game I want to try is Tech Romancer, a fighter where each character is a tribute to a subgenre of mecha and/or of a particular mecha show. Well, I can see that why that would be up your alley. Okay, so you've got all this exclusive side panel art. There we go. Because yes, I don't believe this had like an official side panel art. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Claw like Wolverine and master the art of. We're moving on. Those the game specifications, shipping. Okay. Price. Why am I not seeing the price? Now, I'll just tell you, I think what I heard was it was about 500. 500, I think, is what they were saying. Which, look, I'm going to be... Oh, here's the Big Blue. See, this they could have done a version with basically the Big Blue cabinet. But you know what? I kind of think that this looks better. I kind of think it does. And I've seen a Marvel vs. Capcom cab within a conversion like this. So Marvel, I can't remember if it was Marvel vs. Capcom or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but it was in a cabinet, you know, a standard kind of Capcom or Konami cabinet like this. And so that's kind of how I most imagine it. I did play one time a Street Fighter 2, I guess it was the Champion Edition in the Big Blue. And I don't know, it's a weird looking machine, you know, but 500 seems pretty accurate. Scooter says. Gar says my MIL brought home COVID for all of us to share. Why am I blanking on what MIL stands for? Mother-in-law. There we go. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, one second. Oh man. So okay. Let me see here. My mother-in-law brought home COVID for us all to share. This is the most misery I've been in for many years. Gar. It's no joke. It's no joke. I pray that you heal quickly, and for your whole family actually. And I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Oh my gosh, look at my hair. What the heck? The widow's peak that I'm getting. Dang. It's kind of wild. On the back, it's like I'm losing all my hair. It's stress, I tell you. No. But yes, prayers, please. Good and gracious God, we just ask for Gar and his family, his mother-in-law, and all affected by COVID to make it through quickly. We pray that there are no long-term side effects. We pray that that they can be as comfortable as possible during this recovery time, and that they can contain this and not let it spread to anyone else that they might come across. And we ask this in your loving name, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Oh. Well, goodness, I do hope that you feel better soon, Gar. Now, getting back to this topic here, Oatmeal says that he thinks 500 sounds about right. Here's the thing. You know, I've got, I don't, Oatmeal, do you have an arcade 1-up machine? Or have you had a chance to play one? Still pricey. Yeah. Oh, and it's pricey. I mean, like there's like two separate things to talk about. There's, okay, objectively, that's a lot of money. I mean, you can buy 2 Nintendo Switches for that, right? But then the other part is does it match the perceived value, right? Like, would I look at that and go, oh, that's totally worth $500? And frankly, I can't. If this were to go on sale, I would consider it. But I look at this and I'm like, is that really $500? When Oh, Scooter, yeah, hop into voice chat. Hop into voice chat. Let's do this. Hop into the garden there, and then I'll drag into, or you can just hop into the on air, Scooter. Hop into the on air. So we'll get Scooter in on this conversation, but the question again is does it feel like this is, you know, worth that? Kind of feel like if you open up an arcade shop, that would be worth it. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets a little tricky as well. Technically, these are not licensed for arcade use. This actually does not have real operating coin doors either. This is just a purely free play machine, and these are just molded plastic just to give the illusion of a coin door. This is not. Hey, Scooter.
Hey.
So let me just wrap up this thought real quick, but just to point out that this is purely for the illusion of a coin door. This is actually the licenses Arcade 1UP gets are not actually licenses for arcade use. So anyway, that was my last thought there. Scooter, welcome on in.
Thank you. You made some good points there, and it's hard because if you think about it, is it a really bad value? Not necessarily, because if you try to go get an original arcade machine, those you're going to be paying at least $1,000 for a used one, and you don't know the condition, you don't know how easily it's going to fall apart or anything like that. So when you really look at it, is it really worth the value? Technically, yes. Is it pricey? Absolutely. It's one of those. It's a double-edged sword.
It's a catch 22.
Yeah, that's the thing that I feel about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am so glad that I did get my Mortal Kombat machine, but it did almost cost an arm and a leg to get it. So so it's one of those things that obviously it's not necessary, but isn't that how video games can kind of be? Those are things that we really love and we cherish and whatnot.
This is fair,
but these are obviously the things if you want to have the experience in your home. That's the idea behind them, and I get why they're priced. At least they're giving us more games to make it kind of feel more worth it. So you got to kind of look at that. And I mean, I've never actually seen a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 machine. I actually thought that was only consoles, but that makes a lot of sense to me. So, but the fact that you're getting all those games, 6 of them that are actual arcade games, which you would have to pay, let's say, $1,000 for each one of those. So you're looking at $6,000 compared to maybe $500 to $600. So it's
no, you're right. You're right.
Hard. It's hard. It's really, really hard because I could see it feels pricey. It does. It definitely does. But at the same time, you got to really look at what they're selling here, and it goes both ways. It's not a black and white. It's a gray area. It's a completely gray area because it's something that I've been fighting about myself. Like, for example, the one that I thought was the most ridiculous pricing was the Simpsons one. I mean, come on, and bowling for $700. That's ridiculous. That one, I was like, okay.
That one had an additional problem for me, which is that the bowling game was sort of shoehorned in there, and
it was.
And I hated the fact that you have this classic Konami beat 'em up that honestly, this is weird, but honestly, if that was the only game on there, I think it would have had for me more value. Now, I'm not saying that at the price that it was being sold for, I would have bought it, but I honestly would have felt like there was more value if it was just a faithful reproduction of the one game and that was it.
No, I agree with you because I feel like that would have been more of a quality than quantity. This is kind of a mixture of both because at least with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you're getting stuff that is surrounding Marvel vs. Capcom universe. So it works. The Simpsons bowling game, it may have Simpsons in there, but there's like no real connection. It would make more sense to me if they were trying to do it like a Konami collection where it had The
Totally.
Simpsons, X-Men, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. See, that would make a lot more sense because it works in the same style.
Yeah.
That would have been a way to do it. But
Yeah.
when you're just putting two Simpsons games, one that we cherish and one game where we probably all were like, what's this?
You're like, huh?
When I
I
heard
don't
the
remember
Simpsons
this.
bowling
Yeah.
game, like, wait, would that exist?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It makes no
So
sense.
it definitely feels shoehorned compared to this one where it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense to have all those games in one.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a difference. Like, so quantity wise and quality wise, you feel like you're getting a good bulk there. Whereas the Simpsons one, for example, you're just like, "Ah, really, that's it?
That's yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's one I got right there. Yep.
And I
Though
think
I like that design. Okay, yeah, because I got the Mortal Kombat 2 version.
yeah, you
I'm
got
not gonna
this.
lie,
You got this one, right? This
yeah,
let
I
me
got the
pull it
Mortal
up.
Kombat 2
This is the one you got.
side, but I'm not gonna lie, that Mortal Kombat 1 looks really nice. I'm kind of jealous.
Well, but you have the and now it's a sticker. This is a print of the. This was the first stage that Arcade One Up did, which was like, hey, let's just slap an image of a coin door on there, because I
Yeah, I
believe
mean, I
the.
kind of liked it, but it does look a little.
I mean, it was, in my opinion, an improvement over just having multiple game titles on here. Like
Oh,
here's a good
yeah,
example. Like look at
absolutely.
this. You have this like classy looking Pac-Man cabinet with the wood grain and everything, and then it's like, oh, look at that. It's just
Yeah,
logos.
can I add Mictron in?
Yeah, please do, please do. I know
Okay,
Mictron
yeah, I got
was yeah, I was trying to kind
yeah,
of wave him on in.
I got you. I can drag him in.
But you know, again, look. So here are the arcade cabinets I have. I have three.
Okay.
I have the first one that I purchased
Hmm.
was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not even on here anymore because
No, that was like one of their first ones they came out with.
it
Yeah.
was the
Hello?
first, it was the original
Hey,
one. Hey,
Mictron,
hey Mike Tron.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, good,
not bad,
good.
not bad.
Good.
I'll wrap up my thought here and then we'll properly get you in here in a
Yeah.
second, all right? Um but yeah, so the first one I got was that, which I guess I could uh I could pull up an image of it a little bit later while
Oh,
we're chatting, but this is the version that has replaced the version that I have. This is
oh yes.
there's two
Oh,
games.
wow.
It's the original Turtles and Turtles in Time.
That's
Now
a nice one.
this,
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
admittedly,
that looks.
Mictron,
Yeah, that
I'm
looks
with
good.
you. I think this looks nice. I
Hmm.
So
think
I don't know about that riser though. That riser kind of creeps me out. I'm not
well,
gonna lie.
and that's how the artwork on Turtles in Time. See, I
Oh,
prefer the
I know, I
original
know.
arcade cabinet. I really do. That's
The
what I have
riser is just
nostalgia
funny
for.
looking.
If the original arcade, if the version I have with the original arcade artwork had this form factor, which is more like the Konami cabinets, um, that may have been an improvement. But I actually personally liked the original run of arcade cabinets
Yeah,
from Arcade One Up. I thought they looked nice, but I got this. This
yeah.
was the first one. Now I
Okay.
purchased my. I can't remember how much it was.
I
I don't think
I
I
think it was
paid
around
more than
45.
$200. I know I paid.
Oh,
If I remember correctly, I paid. I mean, it was under $200 at least. I know that.
Under
Um,
200? That's
yeah,
not
it was on
bad.
sale,
that's impressive.
It is,
and
not gonna
and
lie.
but I think it went for like 350. Like when it came
That
out, I
sounds.
think it was 350.
I was thinking about 354. I think it was somewhere around there.
354, that's not bad. For an
It
arcade
It's still not.
machine?
No, it's really not that
That's
bad
it.
now. Yeah.
I felt like that was a pretty decent price. And look at this now. This same games. The only addition is the live function, so you can play online. And now
Yep.
they're selling this for $700. But anyway,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
so I have that machine, and then the next one I got, actually, I also don't think it's on here. It's the oh no, it is. Well, no, it's not. That's actually another one that they redid. But I have the Galaga machine, which I got for $50.
$50?
Now that is
50.
crazy.
That
Um,
is crazy.
it was a Gen 1,
Hmm.
and they were liquidating. And I happened to go in the store.
Oh,
I heard a rumor. I'd been following, I was at part of all these Arcade One Up enthusiast groups. I'd been looking at all these. I really wanted to get. Maybe I'll pull this up here because I'll show you what I really wanted to get.
Yeah, I
If I
want to
can
see.
find.
I want to see which one you
Ooh,
wanted
I
to
want
try
to
to
see.
get.
Has
So
somebody?
I gotta go to arcade
But
one up.
man, I had an experience like that. I went to one of my stores. It's called Meijer. It's a local
Oh yeah.
grocery store. They had an NBA Jam one in there with the stool and everything for $250. I kicked myself for not getting it.
With the stool even.
With
Yeah.
the
NBA
stool.
Jam with the
With the
stool?
stool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So here's the reason they have the stool there because obviously with the riser it's going to lift it up more so that they have the stool so you can actually sit and play.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
my Mortal Kombat one did not come with the stool. Mine is without the stool. I did look online. I can get one for about $80, but that's the least of my problems right now.
Mm-hmm. A stool for 80? Not bad. It
No,
depends on.
it's a nice looking stool. I mean, I
Yeah.
will give it. They look really really nice and well detailed,
Yeah.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessary right now. And
No,
fortunately, I
that's
haven't
yeah.
even really had the time to play my machine. Kendra played a little bit of Paperboy the other day, so I got to enjoy her playing that.
Wait,
So.
you have Paperboy?
Yes, I have the Midway Arcade Legacy one, so it has
Oh my goodness
Mortal
gracious.
Kombat 1, 2,
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Mortal
Mm-hmm.
Kombat 3,
Mm-hmm.
Paperboy, Joust, Rampage, Wizard of War, which is
Rampage I've played on arcade
oh yes,
and
Rampage as
PS1.
well. Oh yes, Rampage is there too. Has a good instead of puns,
Uh,
Mark.
yeah. Gen 1, you got an arcade cabinet from Kanto. I like it.
Yeah, of course. That's a good book.
Uh, well,
I
and I
like
missed
that
something
pun.
here. Oatmeal says, "Are you wanting to buy another cabinet? Or are you just looking?" I I'll get to that in a little bit, but let me show you. Let me show
Yeah,
you
let's see it.
the cabinet that I have here. The cabinets
Okay,
that I have, I
let's
should
take
say.
a look.
All right.
Let's take a look.
So this is the first. This is the Turtles game that I have. Now
Okay.
I actually again I think the form factor looks good. Seeing as there's only 2 games, you have basically the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo plus Turtles in Time under it. It looks clean. You've got that classic artwork. Still a little creepy, but it's it's classic artwork. And I like the shape, the sort of shark fin shape that this is what all of the original cabinets had. Now the second one I have, the other cabinet is this one. This is the Galaga machine. By the way, if I did notice, 375 was the Walmart listing for the Turtles game.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, so we were close, about 300-400
yep,
area.
That's not bad, and I've seen a
yeah,
lot of them at Best Buy and Walmart too.
Oh
And
yes,
I'm like,
Best Buy
oh
is
yeah,
a very common place to find some of these.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yes.
and then the Galaga and Galaxian. That's 2 games. The Galaxian being the first game in the Galaga series. This was 279.
Okay.
But again, it was a Gen 1. This was part of the original 4, I think, that they had.
Right.
Or
Right.
maybe 6. I don't know. It was always
Ooh,
complicated
that's a
from the
beautiful
get-go.
cabinet. Wow.
I
The
mean,
bezel's
I
the
think
best
I
part,
have
I'll tell
to
you.
I think I have to agree with you, man. I kind of agree with just slapping the logo on the front is kind of
It's
I can
it's
see where you're
cheesy.
coming from.
Yeah.
It's very cheesy. But I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me
It
wrong,
is
it's
cheesy.
seeing the fake quarter thing to put in is a little cheesy too, but I do love the cheesiness behind it. That at
Right,
least
Mm-hmm.
right.
has a kind of meaning behind the arcade machine. Just slapping the logo on there, it feels a little
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I see exactly what you're talking about now.
But
It's still
that
cool to
being
have the Gen
said,
1s.
then I have this is my third one that I have, and that's this one here. This is the Star Wars limited
Outrun?
edition
Wow.
Which one is it? Oh yeah, the Star Wars.
seated Star
Yeah.
Wars. Yeah.
Seated
Okay,
arcade.
and
Okay,
this
let's go.
one,
Mhm.
if I can find, I won't have a clear picture of it, but I can show you this one. You can just peek at it. So it
Yeah,
has
there you go.
the logos here of the 3 original trilogy movies,
Yep.
but
You
it
can
looks
see that in
good.
the
It actually looks good, and because you're a sit down cabinet, it doesn't feel like it necessarily needs to have a coin door or anything like that. So
No, that one is a different case. That one
yeah,
definitely does not feel like it needs to, because with a lot of those sit downs, they actually had the coin slots and really weird like areas of it. Like just a few weeks ago, I went to the gaming bar with my little brother. I enjoyed going there first time. He's like, dude, I want to do that again. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. And we went there and we played. Oh, you're gonna love this one, Mana. The Lost World Jurassic Park. My owner finally got that in. It's
Nice.
so much. Oh, it
Nice.
brings memories.
That's
And I
cool.
and I, and I realized, and I looked at it. Yeah, those are really weird spots to have the coins when you think about it. But
Right? Yeah.
so in this case, it totally makes sense to just kind
Yeah.
of put the logo there because it's not really in the biggest viewing area because you have that backward seat there.
Right.
Now, to get me to buy a Star Wars one, put the
Right.
Sega Star Wars
Yeah.
Arcade Trilogy one,
Yep.
and you have me one up. You hear me, one up arcade?
Yeah.
I want that. I want that. You do that one, you'll be my best friend. So Sega, one up arcade, do this for me. I will love you forever.
So I have those 3 cabinets, and
That was
Scooter
cool.
has Mortal Kombat 2, and then
Well, yeah.
we have Mike Tron who has joined us. And
Hello.
Mike Tron, what is your interest, or do you have any background with any of these? Have you looked at arcade one-up machines in the past? What are your thoughts?
I have. Every time I go into Best Buy to see what's new, like games and stuff, I always see that machine, and I tried it out once, and I'm like, holy guacamole, this is awesome.
Nice.
Which one did you try?
I believe it was the Pac-Man one that they had set up at my Best Buy.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That's a
Yep.
good one to do.
A classic
And
game. Yeah.
yep. And the fact that I used to go to all these birthday parties as a kid growing up in Brooklyn, New York, especially at the bowling alleys, because every classmate I had at their birthday party at the bowling at the bowling lanes. So I'm just like, you know what? The heck with it. I do have the room, and as much as I would love to get one of those,
Yeah.
I'm debating. I'm like, I don't know the price range and such.
Man, you can show off mine. Mine's actually on the website.
Yeah. I think I did show it off before, but I'll
You didn't put it on the big screen. You showed it like for a quick second, but
and I'll look at it again. But what I'm a
yeah.
little annoyed by right now is I thought, their website has always been a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Yeah.
They have stuff in weird places. They remove things. Like, I would love to see a page that's just legacy cabinets, so you could just see the old cabinets, and
Yeah.
and they've taken some of them away. And then I'd like to actually have, what is currently in production, and maybe what
Yeah,
special
they
order.
definitely
It's
don't
yeah.
have a good way of showing that right now. That's for sure.
They just it's
Mhm.
all over the board here on their website. But
It is.
let me pull yours up then. But no, what I was gonna say though, so interestingly, those 3 arcade cabinets that I have, 2 of them have 2 games, one of them
Yep.
has 3 games. All of the in both, or in all 3 cases, they are they are games which are part
There it
of
is.
a series, same person, or same company, I should say, that is making them. Same what else? Same IP, if you will, and same controls, and same screen aspect ratio, screen orientation. So to me, when I saw Arcade One Up versus like the At Games Legends arcade cabinet, what I
Yeah.
liked about the Arcade One Up machines is that they were focused, and they were a little hit or miss. The first gen, it was like there were some things where I'm like, well, I'd do that differently. A lot of people kind of commented on it and said, well, I would do that differently.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like, well, they were going to move forward. Oh, we're getting rated.
Hold on to your hats. We're
No
being
way!
rated.
R.L. Ritchie! Woo!
Let me do this.
Hey,
I got it.
welcome
There we go.
on in. A Grand Admiral in the house. What is that? Brie Elizabeth, Ghost of Alex. Hey, good to see you, friend. It's a Pika Power raid. Thank
I
you
love that
so
raid message.
much.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool.
Oh my
Mario
goodness.
Sunshine. Oh.
Ooh, Mario Sunshine, good memories with me and my friends playing that on the GameCube years ago.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you were cleaning up, weren't you? Hey, it's so good to see all of you. Thank you for coming. I hope that you had a
Goodness
great
gracious.
time playing Mario Sunshine. I'm sure you did.
Well, you've got inbound.
Hopefully
New
you
follower.
help them out and get those shine sprites.
Bree,
Well, look
thank
at you joining the
Grandma
Friends of
Henrich.
Meta.
Is it Henrik?
I'm wondering if it's
Henrich?
Henrik. Yeah, that's what
Henrich?
I'm thinking Henrik, but
Henrik,
I guess we'll find out.
Grand Admiral. I feel like
Grand
that's like a Star Wars. It's Rich.
Rich.
Grand
Okay.
Admiral Henrich. Right on.
Okay, cool. I like
Well,
that.
welcome on. Should I address you
Yay.
as your Grand Admiralship, or should I?
Yes.
It's good to have you here. And Bree, thank you so much. I'll let you know. My name is Mana. I'm an E for everyone, family-friendly variety streamer. I focus on Nintendo games, mostly retro games on original hardware. We're actually talking right now. This is a just chatting stream, but we're talking about arcade one-up machines. So these are reproduction arcade games. And I also enjoy indie games and playing a lot of indie games and things like that. I'm also a friend of R.L. Ritchie, Rob, and Alex. We are hoping to do a collaboration here once things settle down and we can find the time to do it.
Yeah,
it'll
I've been
happen.
trying to do
It'll happen.
something with them too, but yeah,
Ooh.
timing is everything.
Yeah.
All of
And
us should do a collab at some point.
collaborations
definitely
are
should.
fun. I am
Yeah.
joined
Yes.
right now, by
Oh,
the way, by two great folks. We've got well, I'll let you introduce yourselves. Scooter 102089. You wanna do the
I love how
the
you always
honors?
say it that way. I love it because I'm so used to people with 10, 20, 89, and 10208. I love it.
That's awesome.
My wife laughs about it every single time you do it. It's funny. So yeah, hi, I am Scooter 102089 or 102089, also known as Chaser the Ultimate Gamer. I am a variety streamer, though I do like a big emphasis on Nintendo, indie, and retro. Though I did start dabbing into some Xbox, trying that out for myself since Evil Guy is such a nice guy. Don't tell him that. Though.
Oh
Do
yeah.
not say
Did
that.
you really just say that?
Oh, I totally did.
Oof.
I can get away with it.
Oof. Oh, oh, look, everybody, you can see I'm doing things on the screen I shouldn't be doing. What? Ah!
Whoa, that's a lot to do there.
That's my
Whoa, a little behind the scenes there, bud.
little behind the scenes and the background.
Oh,
Oh, everybody.
Rob, really? You didn't know
Everything's
that was
moving.
me the whole time? Oh.
Yes, Scooter and Chaser are the same indeed.
It's
Yes.
my alter ego. But yeah, I'm just lately I've been just trying to slowly get back into streaming, just kind of been doing some multiplayer, some retro and stuff. And then eventually I got to get into my games lately, which that last we're trying to finish, which was Borderlands, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Sonic Generations. So those are the last 3 games I've been working on. Got to get back into them. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Hi guys. Hi Rob. Hi Alex. Good
And
to see you.
then we also have Mictron.
Hello, my name is Mike Chan Gaming. I am a video game streamer, as these fine people are. I play Nintendo games, PlayStation games. I am recently playing NASCAR games at the moment on original hardware with PS2. I love playing racing games, and yeah, it's a great time. I also do art streams most of the time. I'm gonna start bringing that onto my channel, give you guys a sneak peek on what I work on for art, and yeah, that's me.
And
That's
now we're gonna shout out RL Ritchie.
Yes.
And so if you don't know Rob and Alex, they're a streaming couple. They are honestly one of the best in the biz when it comes to honoring various anniversaries of game releases. I honestly
Yes.
don't know how they do it. I mean, I know there's so much planning that goes into it, but they're always thinking about what games came out when, and they're celebrating those anniversaries and showcasing these games that came 10, 20, 25 years ago. And I love that aspect of their streams. I know Rob pours a lot of time and effort into these cool cards that you can collect that have different effects inside the stream. Also, Rob is an excellent DM or GM for role-playing games, and so they do stuff like that in their Discord server. Alex is incredibly knowledgeable about books and often does arts and crafts and literary topics on stream. So you really get just a whole smattering of great things when you hop into their channel. And
Yeah.
Rob, I would love to join you. So, anyways, please do check out Rob and Alex. RL Richie, thank you so much for that raid. Thanks for the follows to Bree and the Grand Admiralship himself.
Oh, I love that.
And Jenna,
Always a
welcome
pleasure,
on in.
Rob. Always a pleasure. Oh, by the way, you were playing Sunshine. So were you playing on the original GameCube or were you playing on the Mario 3D All Stars? I'm curious. I'm going to take a guess. I think you probably played on the original GameCube just to have that factor of playing the original, 20th anniversary. I was right.
The GameCube version. That's
Ooh.
it. Jenna has lots
I
of
got my original
updates.
copy too.
Jenna, maybe if you wouldn't mind holding up just a little bit, since we're just welcoming all these raiders, and we'll get all those updates from you in a moment. But get them ready, cue them up, my friend. I want to hear them. I hope that
Yes,
your
hear
littlest
it.
addition in the family are doing okay. The Animal
Absolutely.
Crossing broke. Oh no.
Which Animal Crossing?
Yeah. Now, I did mention this before. We are talking about arcade one-ups tonight.
Yep.
And so I wanted to see if I could find. Aha, here we go. This will work. I was looking for an image of the original lineup, and it's not a perfect image, but it'll work. It's pretty grainy, in
enough.
fact, but it'll get the job done. So we're gonna.
Yeah.
Bree says already got a raid and run, work in 8.5 hours, and I need to sleep. Hope to catch another stream soon. Please, yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I'm biased though. Oh no, your air conditioning, Jenna. No, not during the heat wave. Arr, we had some issues with that too, and that
What
was
do we
no
think
good.
Animal Crossing?
I'm because I'm like an Animal Crossing streamer, right? Shoot.
You're.
Oh
Take
man.
care. Have a great night, Bree. Stay safe and healthy. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Scooter. Yeah, do good. Thank you, Bree, for the follow again. Appreciate that. And his mind immediately goes to Animal Crossing and air conditioning. Yeah. Air conditioning? What's that? No, Animal Crossing. That's what's cool.
It happens.
Diagnosis. Okay.
I've said goofy stuff like that before too. When someone gives me an acronym and I'm like, "Wait, is that?"
What
Because
does that
AC
mean?
could also be Assassin's Creed. He's like,
Oh,
"Wait, is that-"
Assassin's Creed. You're Assassin's Creed, bro.
Assassin's Creed, New
Dude, that's so
Horizons.
great.
New Horizons. That's the latest. That's the new one.
Yep. Oh,
Wait,
okay.
real quick. I want to pop up here this image of the first gen arcade one-up machine. So there was
Let's
this
take a look.
Asteroids, and then technically there was actually a seventh cabinet, which was a Costco version of 12-in-1 that had both Asteroids and what was the other one?
What is it? What is it? I know.
Centipede? Was it Centipede?
It might have been Centipede. It might have been.
I don't remember. Anyway, so they had that version, but yeah, we have the Asteroids. Then we had the Street Fighter. This was basically a Williams or Midway cabinet with Rampage, Gauntlet, Joust, Defender.
Yep.
Then the Galaga and Galaxian, of course, coming from Bandai Namco back in the day. The Centipede, so here's another Atari cabinet like the Asteroids cabinet. This one being featuring a trackball, whereas this one has a spinner. And then the Final Fight, this was the first Capcom beat 'em up cabinet with Final Fight. Well, it wasn't really a beat 'em up cabinet. It was Final Fight, which is a beat 'em up, but then it was 1944, the Wingmaster, which is a top-down shooter. Ghosts and Goblins, which is a side-scrolling torture device, and then Strider, which is a side-scroller as well.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because that's kind of it's like the Rampage one because Gauntlet, Joust, and Defender they all play differently, and then Final Fight, 1944, Ghosts and Goblins, and Joust are all different. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
It was so actually my reason also for bringing that up is so they were liquidating Gen 1 cabinets, and that's how I got my Galaga machine for $50 because
That's great.
honestly I wasn't going to buy like the Turtles. So the Turtles, this was Gen 3 technically, I think, was Turtles, unless it was 2. I can't remember.
I think it's Gen 3. I think you're
I
right.
think it's Gen
the
3.
third. Yeah, I think
So I got Turtles first, and then I got Galaga because they were liquidating Gen 1. I had heard, there was like at one point I was willing to drive 50 miles to get Asteroids for $100, but I decided not to, and I waited and waited,
Fair enough.
and then finally, I was hearing these rumors that there was a Gen 1 liquidation, $50 at a big box store, and I immediately hopped in the car, went over to the store. They said, like the day before I had gone, and they had all these games, and they had Final Fight, and I thought, boy, I'd like to get Final Fight because there's some great games on that. Actually, Final Fight not so much, but the 1944 I enjoy, Ghosts and Goblins I really enjoy. I had wanted the Rampage one, but there were some issues with it. Out of all of the original lineup, one of the cabs that everybody kind of said was one of the best was the Final Fight one. So I went in hoping that they'd still have the Final Fight ones. Nope, someone had purchased those before I got there.
Oh, of course
But
they did.
there was one Galaga machine left, and it was marked for $200. And I said, could you just check on the price for me real quick and just let me know what it actually is? And it rang up $50. I have
Sold.
I was, all right, I'm taking it. I wasn't
Monopoly,
even planning
sold.
on getting it, but whatever. Like,
Don't
it's a $50 arcade cabinet,
you love those moments?
Yeah.
Those are
I'm
the
like,
best
take it. It's mine. And
Take my money. Yeah.
take my money.
Future
And then I did with the Star Wars cabinet, I did like I said, I know it was under 200 for the Turtles. It was 50 for Galaxy. I think it was less for Turtles than 200. I think I got it for
That's
like
impressive.
150. It was
One
on
of my
it was on a weird sale, and then it was like these stores didn't know what they had, and they had all these Gen 1 cabinets that were sitting there, and so they were trying to liquidate those, and then sometimes they would like accidentally liquidate a new cabinet. And that's what happened with the Turtles one for me. So I was like, I'm buying it. And then I got the Galaga one
have
for 50. And then
It-
and for me, so I got Turtles because Turtles was the cabinet when they announced it that I wanted, because this was I grew up with the Konami beat 'em ups and all the Konami 4-player cabs. And then Galaga, it was just the price was too good. And then the Star Wars cabinet, I didn't really grow up playing those games. They were a little bit older. They weren't in the arcades that I played growing up, but I love Star Wars. It was such a well done cabinet. It was unique with unique controls that you couldn't find anywhere else. And so that's why I picked up Star Wars. So that's why I got those three. I wanted to share that a little
Fair
bit.
enough.
If you'll give me a moment, I want to catch up on chat because
please do.
I know there's a bunch of folks here and some new
let's do
folks,
that.
and then we'll get back to the topic here. But let's go up here. By the way, Moxio, so good to see you. Moxio is new here, and Moxio says torture is a good describer for Ghosts and
That game
Goblins.
is torture. Yes. Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
Oh, that game is pain. That game is pain.
Now Jenna says, "Oh no, Jenna got a new diagnosis and it's a scary one. I'm so sorry to hear that."
Oh no.
Jenna also says, "Did you look into what my uncle was talking about?" And to be honest, that fell off my radar, and you'll have to forgive me and also remind me. My apologies on that.
Yeah.
And then please know you'll be in my thoughts and my prayers. Now, Pixel Knight says, off topic, I looked up Young Avengers, a favorite Marvel team of mine, because I was bored. Found out the Marvel's giving them a 4-issue story in their online Marvel's Voices series.
Oh,
Excellent.
cool.
And did you know they had an online app with a ton of back issues and new stories to help new readers? That is pretty cool, actually.
That is actually really cool. Yeah, I'd never heard about that before. I never even heard about Young Marvel, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Cool. And Pixel Knight, my favorite Gen 3 cabinet is Flygon.
Flygon, of course.
And a Severian, or Severine.
I don't know.
Real
I'm sorry,
quarter
I'm not
muncher, that
good.
game. Yes.
Yes. A lot of games were
Indeed.
quarter munchers.
Indeed.
Especially Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Gauntlet,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Or
I-
Mortal
I-
Kombat. Mortal Kombat would be a complete quarter muncher too.
Well, like the fighting games,
They did it on
quarter
purpose.
munchers in a sense, but like
We knew what we're getting into. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
we gotta beat Goro.
No,
We
I'm
have to
with-
beat Goro.
I'm all out of
Well,
quarters.
I'm
but
all out of
like-
quarter. Grab me a quarter.
well, and all the
Oh,
beat 'em ups and
no.
everything were like that, right? That was just
Yeah.
that's-
Oh, yes, because they would have all those guys after you, and then you could not take them out, and they just keep punching you down. You're like,
right.
oh, those are the days.
But it was okay. I mean, you know, well, I think that Gauntlet, or sorry, Gauntlet was an interesting one because you could actually regain health by dropping quarters in. So that was very much like a deliberate. Oh, hey, like you're running out of life. Here you go. Drop a quarter.
Go. Hey,
That's literally pay to win. That's literally pay to win.
That
And I
is-
think you're like
hey,
your
that's literally
life is
pay to
always trickling away. So like literal pay to win.
That was literal. So that's where they got the pay to
That's-
win from.
That's where they got it. Darn you, Gauntlet.
you started
But,
a phrase. Now we don't like you anymore.
Yeah. But no, Ghosts and Goblins. That one, thankfully it's on that Capcom collection on the Switch. I love that collection.
Yes.
And that was like
yes.
you got a free game when you first downloaded it. That was my free game, and I did beat it. But man, I went through like $100 worth of quarters.
Oh my god.
It was so much. Hey,
Yeah.
Carter Balian.
I can realize how I feel now because the stream of the other night I did Mortal Kombat on the original arcade through that, you know what I mean, and I realized, yeah, I would have lost a lot of money if I did this
Right.
on the original machine.
Yeah. Oh my
Goro
gosh,
is
yeah.
not nice. Goro is not a nice guy.
Hey, Brett, please read this. Oh dear. So Brett, what I'm going to just tell you right now, Brett, is I don't know if this is real or not, because honestly, there are folks who sadly will go around saying things to get a streamer flustered or to try to do this in an unkind way. But it's a very serious thing, a very, very serious thing. And I want you to know that I have no doubt that you have value in this world. There are resources far better than than me, and there are times and places that are far more resourced to be able to assist you. And I honestly encourage you to reach out to Suicide Hotline. It's an excellent resource. I've contacted them several times in the past, and if you're in the United States, I can get you that number.
Do you want me to go and look for it? I'll be happy to.
You know, actually, I forgot to tell you, you can actually dial 988 now, or even text. I believe it's the crisis.
Thank you, Severin. We appreciate that for you putting that in there. Thank you.
Just 988 now. Thank you. I forgot that was a recent change. So that's the one. And
Please.
and honestly, those are the folks to talk to. And if you're feeling this way and it's a thing that you're going through, know that you're not alone. There are many people who have to use that resource.
I've had my point too. So you're not alone. Get yourself some help.
Yeah.
There's people that will be willing to help you out. I promise you.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
for you
I
too.
don't have much more that I can offer other than just again to say that I know I can say this with absolute certainty that you have value and that you contribute to this world, and that we would be worse off without you. So
Absolutely.
please reach out to the professionals. That's what they're here for. I am not a professional on that, and if you want to do that, I encourage you to do that right away. Please.
Yes, absolutely. Don't waste any time.
Yep. And if I might be so crass as to bounce back into talking about arcade cabinets, that's what we're talking about.
That's never an easy segue.
Right? Yeah. Now we're gonna segue to talking about arcade cabinets.
How did Mr. Rogers do this?
Oh gosh, that's the thing.
I just
But
need those penny loafers. I think that's the segue to everything. Just have the penny loafers.
well, and the zippered sweater, I
And
think
the
that
zipper,
that
the
had some
sweater,
power
the
as well.
different color sweaters and whatnot.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Just chatting about some various arcade one-up machines,
Yeah.
and so now the lineup has gotten very confusing. I honestly, I wish I could find just a resource of all the cabinets that we could go through, but almost
That's
every
funny you say that.
cabinet now has some issue. Like there's something that's that is a it either has to have a massive amount of nostalgia for me or be like an ideal cabinet. And unfortunately, um, with the and that's because I should say because the cost of these things have gotten so high. And so circling back to the original um, conversation here around this uh, perceived value. Now, my perceived value is a little skewed because I purchased one of these at $50.
Yeah.
So, and
Mine wasn't too much. I mean, I think you remember the original Mortal Kombat one when I saw it was $449,
right,
just like what it says on the website there, and it had $100 off. So we're at $350 now, right?
350.
Then I had
Yep.
a Best Buy. Yeah, then I had a Best Buy gift card for $100. So it was at $250 at that point, and I was able to do a pay in four from PayPal, which honestly is the most amazing thing ever because there's no interest or anything. It is the best way to do that if you are basically it takes the money out of your account automatically every 2 weeks, and it really helps. And like I said, there's no fee for it. It's a thing through PayPal you can do, which if I didn't have that, I would not have this machine. Let's put it
It's
that way.
fair,
It's
yeah.
same.
No, I mean,
So yeah,
it, I'd say I'm looking at this from a build qualities perspective. So to clarify, because Moxio and how do you say your name? Is it Severain? Is that how you say it? So
uh,
the
yeah,
recreations, I think these are nice, and these are 3/4 scale, so they're a little smaller. I have two of them in
yep,
this room, in this family room that I'm streaming in. I have a Star Wars one on the other side of the couch here, and I have the Galaga machine just right here. I'm touching it right now. Okay, so it's just to the left of the TV, and then the Turtles machine lives in another room.
yeah.
Um, somewhat to the chagrin of Ms. Mana, but anyway, so it may end up going in the garage. Actually, I had someone
Oh,
helping
it's
look at.
okay. Miss Witty Kendra was pretty adamant about where I put mine too. She was like, "You put it right here." I'm
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
we're working on our garage doing a little remodeling, so that's it's
Makes
gonna be
sense.
ready for it. But
Makes sense.
um,
Makes sense.
though I might swap it out with Galaga and have Galaga outside. Anyway,
Tough call. Tough call. Tough call.
these are nice. They're smaller.
Mhm.
They are, visually they recreate the original look of the arcade cabinet. They do have LCD screens, so that's a plus for anybody who, may remember or be into restoring classic arcade cabinets. They are not easy to restore. Those CRT monitors,
Oh
they're old at
no,
this
no,
point. You got to
no.
do a lot of work. It's dangerous work. Parts are drying up. So
And,
this
and
I
at
think
least they
there's a
tried
good
with the
model
CRT
here.
filter.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, what was that?
they at least tried to give you a CRT filter and stuff like that. It's not 100% accurate, but it works enough to what they were doing. You know, you can never get 100% accurate compared to like original CRT, but it at least it gives you somewhat of that old school feeling.
And I don't
Yeah,
know on the Mortal Kombat 2 how good it is. I know some of these are pretty
it's okay.
good. Yeah,
Mine's not bad.
is
Not
it
bad.
just is it more than just scan lines?
Um, I think there is a little bit of bilinear filtering to
Okay,
it as well. I think
nice.
it's a little mixture of scan lines and bilinear filtering. Don't quote me on that. It does look a little bit more fuzzy compared to just keeping it off, where you get the real pixel look of it. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit more than scan lines, but not a huge like big difference. Nothing at
Yeah.
least I would say compared to like
the NES or the SNES Online with the Switch
Yeah.
where you have that filter. It's not as deep as that, but it goes a little bit.
Well, and the only thing I have, so the Turtles game didn't have anything. Galaga
Oh, okay.
definitely didn't. Star Wars has scan lines. That's all it has.
Just
And
scan
and
lines. Okay.
only for Return of the Jedi, because actually, despite it being a game with the same yoke, it actually is a. It's not a vector game. It's actually pixelated. So
That's interesting that only the Return of the Jedi does. That's
yeah.
okay.
I
Interesting.
never knew about that. That is pretty.
Yeah, I did not know about that either. It's interesting they only did it for one game.
I can definitely guarantee you for the Midway Arcade one, all of them do.
Okay.
All the games have it if you want it.
But I will say they do have some neat options for the vector games, like how much bloom do you want around the vectors, the vector lines, stuff like that. Like they do a good job of reproducing the vector graphics on what is essentially a raster LCD pixel
Did you
based.
say the same yolk? Yes. How do you want your eggs there, Pixel Knight?
That's quite a
Yolk,
excellent joke.
not
you got
yolk,
there.
yolk. Yeah, that's a hard one to say. But you can see
Like-
they have many form factors now. They have light gun games now. They have the yoke.
Yep, the
they
big
have
buck.
this little pub table with the spinners on it, and this they have cocktail cabinets. They have stand-ups. They have 4-player with classic arcades, arcade joysticks. They have a driving cabinet. They've got really at this point they've got oh, here we go. Here's a trackball with actually this one happens to have a spinner as well. Here's the Tron machine with
Oh yeah.
like a flight stick.
Yeah.
So they really do have everything. Dragon's Lair now. This is one that a lot of
That's
people
crazy.
are really excited about. This one
Yeah.
has a second monitor up at the top, which
Oh, that's
is
right.
for the display of the score. So if you ever played the original, there was actually a, what do you call this type of display? Like it'd be like the back glass on a pinball cabinet, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
but
And if they're-
so they
they're
have a
gonna
lot
do-
of stuff.
Man, if they're starting to do double monitors, can you imagine if they did a Punch Out arcade one?
Right,
That would be
right, yeah, no,
That
for
would be
sure.
awesome. That would be
Nintendo work with Arcade One Up on that one.
Right, right.
awesome. Come on,
That's kinda sick,
Nintendo,
Moxie
You gotta give us
says.
something good.
Honestly, what would be really cool is if Nintendo worked with Arcade One Up and did the Nintendo Play Choice 10. That would be really cool.
That would actually be
Ooh,
pretty
that's
cool.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all.
I'm
Well,
giving you ideas, Nintendo. Hey,
so
Wake up and smell the coffee.
right. So going back to the thing about issues or things that
Yeah.
Like here's an example, and it might seem nitpicky, but as the prices went up, here's this excellent 4-player cabinet, Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, which had never been released other than in the arcades.
Mhm.
Actually, this was still, the back with the shark fin early gen generic arcade 1-up shape. But I'd say this was a pretty gorgeous looking cabinet. Now, bear in mind, I think this launched at 500. It's now 550. It came with that, Golden Axe, Altered Beast, Shinobi, and Wrestle War. And the thing was, I was used to these being about $250 to $350. And it seemed like that was doable. It's about the cost of a console. This is what I'm thinking, is like, this is about the cost of a console.
Mm-hmm.
500, this is the cost of a really expensive console,
Xbox
or
Series X.
you're looking at a gaming computer at this point. And and the thing about this is I'm going to get nitpicky at that. And so I'm thinking here, what is this doing differently than Turtles? And actually not much other than a different game lineup, which is fair, right? But we've got now 5 games. And look, Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, Golden Axe, those would be fun beat 'em ups to play with people. Altered Beast was a pretty fun game. Shinobi is a
fun
pretty
game.
fun game. Those are classic Sega titles. These are Sega games. Wrestle War.
I don't know
Two,
that one.
well, there's exactly, and not. I mean, some people know it obviously, and I don't. Not every person's gonna know every game or have nostalgia about every game, but Wrestle War seemed like such an odd inclusion because for two reasons. One, it's like you've got this sort of fantasy theming, and then all of a sudden you have like modern wrestling.
Oh yeah, Pixel Knight. I do know about those as well. The PlayStation Optimus and the Sega Megatron toys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. But then the other thing with this Wrestle War is that it was a vertical monitor game.
Oh yeah. So they're putting in a game that doesn't really fit the aspect ratio of the
That's
other
it.
title.
That's it.
Ooh, yeah.
And so it's a case of more is not actually more. In this case, that inclusion, odd as it may be, because many people, I remember there being a lot of arguments. People would say, well, it's a bonus then. Like, you may not like it. Well, you don't have to play it. But it's got this giant logo on the front of the cabinet. It's in the games list. Like, in my mind, it actually detracts from the overall. And
Yeah.
let's see here, Jenna. So I finished number 8 of 36 treatments today, and I have some of the more rare side effects. Did I miss something here? Did we hear what Jenna actually has?
I'll double check if there wasn't. I don't think so, but I'll quickly double check chat here.
So official
No, there was
diagnosis.
nothing
Oh no,
else.
intracranial hypertension, low blood pressure to the brain. My hair on my left side of my head, where my treatments are admitted, is breaking and thinning, and that's one thing that's bothering. My other side effects from treatments are confusion, exhaustion, and headaches.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oof, oof, oof.
That's sad.
I'm sorry, Jenna.
Yeah, I'm
Blessings
very sorry,
to
Jenna.
you. Blessings to you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jenna.
Oh,
The
dear.
treatments are not for the hypertension. Okay.
Gotcha.
So they're for another treatment. Okay.
Keep
Lots of
us
people to
updated, Jenna.
pray for and think about.
Yeah,
on
definitely
today's
sending my
stream.
prayers to you. Yeah.
Same here. Keep us updated, all right, buddy?
Yes, please do. Please do.
So, and again, as I switch right back to the arcade
And
stuff,
move the segue over.
and segueing to arcade cabinets that are totally a privileged thing that we can have, but nitpicking them even, no less.
Yeah. But you make a valid point. You really do, because it does really take away, because it doesn't feel like it should be included.
Yeah.
It feels weird to be there. To me, it's like the extended edition of a movie, and it makes it be even worse than what the original theatrical release is. Like, you don't want it at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. Like a director's cut almost.
Yeah. There's a few of those out there that were director's cuts. Like, you should have kept that in the director's room.
Yeah.
Don't bring that out.
Exactly.
So
And
there's
Exactly.
and then
fortunately, it's one of those cases with this. It's just like, if you're gonna pick a game from a Sega library, and you got plenty of games that been in the arcade, are you telling me you really couldn't find a game that was 4:3 ratio?
right, like a
You had to
Sega
pick.
game, for crying out loud,
Like,
or just leave
there's
it
so
out.
many Sega games that were in the arcade. There's so many, and you pick the one that is not in that ratio. It's like, what?
Or fitting the theme at all. I mean,
Even
it
fitting the
boggles the
theme,
mind.
because you got
You've got
basically beat 'em ups and stuff like that.
beat 'em ups and sort of a fantasy genre. I mean, you've got, like fantasy with the Golden Axe series. You've got
Congratulations, Jenna.
sort of the Grecian mythology somewhat with Altered Beast, and you've got, of course, like Shinobi. Well, Shinobi, it's in the name.
I mean, it's basically side-scrolling beat 'em up in some kind of fashion in wrestling world. From what you were telling me, it doesn't sound even close to what those other games are.
It's
not even
an
in the same-
isometric WWF game, basically. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, it was just like,
See,
what?
that sounds even more weird to me. 'Cause
Right?
I'm like, wait,
Right? like you're
Oh.
in a wrestling arena. Anyway.
See, at least with the Midway Arcade, yeah, a lot of the games don't fit the genres. I mean, you can't compare Mortal Kombat to Joust, but it does make still sense because it's still using the same ratio. You can still easily use all the buttons. It doesn't feel completely out of place.
Yeah.
You know, it fits in some way. That
Yeah.
just going from futuristic beat 'em up or Greek mythology beat 'em up. Let's do wrestling. Wait, what?
Yeah, no, it's super strange. Yeah, come on in, Jenna.
Happy for you, Jenna.
So anyways, here's a few more of the issues with these cabinets. Because it doesn't end there. You're hearing me get nitpicky, but what happened is there's almost a joke now with all of the Pac-Man versions, and they sort of trickle out different lineups of Pac-Man games, but there's got to be about a dozen Pac-Man versions from Arcade 1-Up now in various form factors with different amounts of games. And now there's kind of like the final version now, which is out here. But like the first time that we got, I think it was the Miss Pac-Man, not this one, but the Miss Pac-Man cabinet. There were like there was a strange filter that was just permanently applied to all the games. So it was that soft kind of bilinear, which a lot of people didn't like. And and sometimes there would be like bad screens where there were TF displays that had terrible viewing angles. Or sometimes it was controls that were really poor. I mean, honestly, the Galaga machine, I ended up buying probably another $50 worth of parts to upgrade all the controls and add a plexiglass cover to the control deck or the control panel.
Pixel Knight, that would have made a lot more sense. Sonic the Fighters would have been a great example of placement. That would have fit in a lot more.
Was that a Sega? Well, yeah, it was a Sega game. Yeah, of course it was.
Sonic.
Duh. I'm sorry. Whoops. That was.
You're still about AC with Animal Crossing, right?
Yeah, right? Well, like, okay, here's I love those Konami cabinets, okay? I love Konami. And they made amazing 4-player cabinets. So here's the dream, the 4-player. I mean, it would be great if it was the 8-player, but the 4-player X-Men cabinet.
Oh my goodness,
comes out.
8-player X-Men, that would be
Right?
That'd be amazing.
I should show you. There's actually a gentleman on YouTube who created an 8-player X-Men using an arcade 1-Up machine and then the PlayStation 3 with the PlayStation 3 version of the 8-player game.
That makes sense.
Super cool. And he wired up all the controls. Very cool. Well done.
Really cool. That's really cool.
I'll show you a picture here and shout them out.
Yes, I want to see that. That is awesome. I want to see
I gotta see this.
But first, let me just say, here's this game, and it looks great. It's got the molded coin doors, all the artwork you know and love. That same 4-player thing here, looking pretty good. But
Pixel Knight, you're killing me.
What is Pixel Knight saying? Oh no!
Yes, Sonic the Plumber, my favorite Namco character, right next to Rayman the Bandicoot by Konami.
Give me a hard time. Is that Jenna? Okay, Jenna, I'm gonna drag in here in just a second. Give me just a.
You let me know when.
Oh, Jenna, you got it. I got you dragged in there, and then Jenna, welcome in. Oh, I can't hear Jenna at the moment.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I can hear you. No worries. Actually, Jenna, I'm gonna finish this thought, and then we'll do a proper introduction as you get things set up there.
Yeah. I just had to mute the stream.
Perfect. So the X-Men cabinet here, you'll notice, oddly, what's this? Why are there 2 players with 4 buttons? There's 3 here, 4 and 4. Well, X-Men from Konami only used 3 buttons per player. Why is that? Let me tell you, because you asked. Let's go to features and specifications. I don't understand. This again, more is not always more. So here we are. Okay. X-Men 4-player arcade game equipped with live Wi-Fi. That's kind of cool. Oh, and you want more Marvel arcade action? You got it. Captain America and the Avengers. Huh. Okay. And the Avengers and Galactic Storm are both included.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Captain America and the Avengers visually has absolutely nothing to do with Konami's X-Men game.
Nope.
It looks very different. In fact, it's a Data East title. It's not even made by Konami. Oops,
Oh,
here,
I
this
didn't
is
even
loud.
know that.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought X-Men was not even Marvel.
X-Men
no,
is
X-Men
it
is
is
definitely
Marvel.
Yeah, it is. Marvel.
However, the license for because now Marvel's it's Disney, right?
Yes, Marvel is under Disney now. They're under all the big Mickey Mouse Corporation.
Mickey Mouse Corporation. But it's
No, actually, correction. It's run by Minnie Mouse now.
you're right.
That's
I think you're right.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, I think
Minnie
you're
Mouse
right,
is
Jenna.
taking over. You're right. You're right.
There you go,
Jenna knows it. Jenna
That's
knows what's
true.
up.
Jenna
So-
knows.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge. I love that joke. I do that every time when someone says, "Do you remember this?" Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So yeah, I'm gonna pull up so that we can take a look
I'm a
at
Disney
this.
fan. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh,
I
no
know
need to
everything
apologize.
and anything about Disney.
I love it.
Disney as well, especially Tron.
Tron, yeah. I
Tron.
couldn't personally get into Tron.
We'll have to show you the Tron arcade 1-up then in a moment.
Oh, yep.
Here.
They have
Ooh,
that.
wait, they
I-
actually have one?
They do.
Yes, they do.
No way.
Oh, they do.
I
You
gotta
just- it's
see.
day,
I
man.
gotta see this.
It's day.
What was that?
I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, I remember all the way back to the age of 3. And they're like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, okay. My memory is so weird that it creeps some of my friends out because I have a photographic and auditorial memory.
Okay.
So I can watch a movie or a TV show like once or twice and then watch it in my head when I'm tuning people out.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll be
Nice.
at work just bored and just start watching American Idol in my head from like 2005.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
That is
kinda
cool.
cool.
And I can hear
Moxio,
it and I can
right?
hear the singing and see it and everything. But what creeps my friends out is that they'll send me like a picture or something from when they were a kid on Snapchat. And then
Mhm.
like 2 weeks later, they'll come up to me and be like, so when you hear my name, what do you think of? And I start to describe what they were wearing in this picture, what they were doing in this picture, and everything that I remember from this picture. And they're like, I saw that picture once. And it was like for 30 seconds. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry.
You don't
Jenna,
want me to remember. You don't want me to remember
Jenna,
to
I'm
show it.
starting to think you have that remote from the movie Click. Be careful with that.
All
Nice
right.
one,
I'm just
wish.
joking with you.
Nice one. Nice
Thank
one.
you.
I
Thank
wish.
you.
I love me some Adam Sandler.
The
Ooh,
old
you
Adam
know
Sandler,
your
yes.
stuff. You know
Look
your
at
stuff.
that.
I
Look
like
at that,
That's
right?
cool, man. That's cool.
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Oh yes, the good old. I miss the old Adam
Oh.
Sandler. I'm not a fan of the new stuff.
Guys,
Adam
Pixels.
Sandler.
Pixels.
I'm gonna
is an exception.
real
Oh
quickly.
no, that's
I want
no
to pull
exception.
up.
That one hurts me more.
I want to pull up
Oh.
the things that I was trying to pull up here for you.
Yes.
And
Do
by the
it,
way, Dark
do it.
Soldex, I totally did not say hello. My apologies. Hello, I saw you there. Did you actually get? Did you get the actually bike with the Tron 1-up arcade cabinet? No,
No, you do not. Unfortunately.
you do not get the bike. No, but I'll show you. I'll show you that cabinet. But first, let me show you this. So this is the. So we're talking about that. You know, Konami's X-Men, classic.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most beloved beat 'em ups of all time.
Mhm.
This is what they paired it with. So Captain America and the Avengers by Data
Classic
East.
1991. That's a
What?
classic. 91's a classic now.
It is. I know. Can you believe it? But look. Okay, look at this. This is this. So Data East. I'm not trying to throw shade, but I've always felt like Data East is definitely sort of a lower tier, you know, arcade.
It's a
producer.
Vizio of video games.
It's. Vizio.
I'm sorry, I had to go.
Wow.
It's the
You went
Burger
there.
King. It's the Burger King of Dave and Buster's.
It's wow.
I
I think it's
like.
the Burger King of Dave and Buster's.
I
Oh
love that.
no.
That was great. That was great.
Well done. Uh so yeah, shots fired, and now I'm going to never get any monetization or potential.
Sorry, Vizio. I still love
Nobody
you.
Oh no.
sponsor, please. You know, but no. I mean, as we. Oh, that's not a Vizio
We
TV,
have
actually, is it?
we
Just
have
kidding.
I can't
old
judge. I have Vizio TVs. I can't judge. They're not bad. They're not bad.
we have old art we have old arcades where I live, like in Illinois, like in my state. We have old arcades that you can go to and still play for like a quarter.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I love that.
we have those too. I
But
actually
And they
they're
do
getting
tokens
smaller.
too.
No,
They do tokens too.
is it a large arcade with lots of machines, or are we talking about like the machine might be in like a pizza parlor or something?
No, I'm talking about it's just like an old, like it used to be probably like, I don't know, like an old like mom and pop shop or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's just filled with arcade machines, like
S-
literally like Pac-Man,
Love it.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Donkey Kong, like
Ah,
all the classics.
so good.
Mario Brothers, like the original Mario Brothers. Um,
What?
Yeah.
all of these
So
classic
is
games from the 80s.
now that I think about it,
And
is
they
TNT Amusements, if anyone's familiar with TNT Amusements, they're one of the sort of most popular YouTube um well, one of the most popular arcade distributors right now. They refurbish and buy, sell, rent arcade machines, and they have their own unit, and they have a YouTube
I think I've
channel.
I think
TNT,
I've heard of them.
I think they're out of either Illinois or Michigan or somewhere.
I think Illinois, if I'm
Illinois,
correct.
is
I
it
think it's
Illinois?
I
So
think so.
that could explain it, because you've got an excellent uh, uh dealer right there that's able
Yeah.
to
I'm
furbish
only
these.
2.5 hours away from it.
So there you go. But real quickly, getting back to, just because I want to make this point and move on. This
Yeah,
is
go
what
ahead.
was put in with the Konami X-Men. Here's a Data East game. You can see it with tiny little fighters. I mean, it's not a bad game. I've played this before, with friends. It was a broken machine, by the way, but it's kind of fun. But it doesn't live up to the Konami X-Men game. It feels inferior when you put it on the same cabinet. Just you put them side by side, and it's like, ugh. But get this.
It- yeah.
This is the other game that they put in with it, Avengers and Galactic Storm. Moxio was asking about the button layout. Let me explain. Look at this. Good old CG Captain America right there.
Okay, that was creepy.
And
Oh my goodness.
Really creepy.
Whoa.
Avengers and Galactic Storm. This is by Data East as well. And this is a 4-button fighting game. Look at those stellar pre-rendered CG graphics.
Creepy.
I got to tell you, I didn't know anything about this game, but I looked it up afterwards, and I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, it just one of the most generic fighting games with graphics that have not aged well. There's a certain charm, but compared to the pixel art graphics of Konami's X-Men, no.
It makes me think of the graphics of the Clay Fighter 63 and the third on the N64. It really makes
That's
me think
exactly
of that,
what they were doing. It was the
the
pre-rendered,
2D
that.
sprites with a 3D background, and it looks. I'm sorry, it looks ugly. It
the
really
animation.
does.
The animation is rough.
It looks like a
Moxio
PS1 game
great
that's been
graphics.
forgotten about.
Well, yeah, the PS1 N64 era. Yeah,
Yep.
This is like one of those things where it looks in motion, because it's stop motion, right? They take a CG render, and then they put in these frames of animation so that you see it in motion. Go look at it on YouTube. It's rough. So now you're taking this cabinet.
and Dark Solid, bring it.
Yes. Yes.
I love those emotes. I don't know where you got those.
Where
emotes,
did those
but
are
they're-
amazing.
Let me
That's
see who
the classic showdown, right? Of
that
of
is Ken
the-
and
Ken and Chun-Li went in the but that's meant to be that's the one where everyone goes, ah, because he blocks the perfect infinite combo or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember
That's
what
great.
was that called? Event
Hurricane
anyway,
Kick?
no, but the event that was at, it was anyway.
Oh, I don't.
Me and Mana.
Yeah.
It's in
Right.
Pennsylvania.
I mean,
Evo,
depending on
Evo,
how long
thank you.
you go.
That's it was
Oh,
an
Evo.
Evo
There we go.
experience.
Evo. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Evo number 37. Thank you, Dark
Evo.
Solid X. That's what it was. I couldn't remember
Okay.
but yeah, so you take this
That's the
cabinet.
TNT Amusements.
Oh, go ahead, sorry,
They're
what?
not in Illinois. TNT Amusements is not Illinois. It's
Oh, where are
Pennsylvania.
they? Does it say?
Oh, Pennsylvania. Oh,
Southwarton,
Pennsylvania.
I've been to
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
There we go.
oh, well, there you
So,
go.
kind of
So
like how people say
fucking.
out west or like the Pacific Northwest are like, "Oh, like you're in Washington? Oh, you must be near LA."
Yeah.
What?
Oh my goodness. I hate to
Or
interrupt
like
you,
when I'm
Mana.
in Illinois, people are like, "Oh, so you're from Chicago?" I'm like, from Illinois. I'm
Yeah, right.
quite
Not
a
in
few hours
It's
from
not just Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah, that's
state.
true. A lot of people just think of
Mitron,
Chicago.
you were gonna say something?
Oh,
Do you have to
I
get
was gonna
going?
say I looked up the arcade one up Tron arcade machine.
Oh,
Holy
let's go to that.
guacamole.
Let's go to that one then. But yeah, because my point with
You
this was basically the X-Men one. Why? If it was just X-Men, if it was just the X-Men, and they didn't, I mean, not only is it egregious to me that you have these two games that just look so lackluster, and they're from a different developer.
I do gotta get
They
going soon.
Oh, you have to get going
Oh, you gotta get going. No
Soon,
worries.
soon.
soon. Okay.
I had a couple things I wanted to share. So just you think what your thought though.
Oh, all right. So I'll finish this. So it's like you've got uh your X-Men, and then you're putting in Avengers stuff, like Captain America stuff. Like that's just because you're trying to add games you're licensing. It's not even by Konami, it's Data East. That doesn't that alone would be for me a turnoff. But then for them to have had to actually modify the button layout
Yeah.
of the original X-Men game by adding in two additional buttons for two players to play player 1 and 2 for that very lackluster fighting game. It's like
Why
no.
couldn't you have just kept the one game and made it cheaper? I just don't understand.
Sure.
That would have
Yeah.
made a lot more sense.
Because
Put
it's
it
all
down
about
to
the
about
money.
$500 with just X-Men, and I think people would be fine with it. The $250 really doesn't justify those two games.
Yeah.
Because it's
And you
all
put
about the money.
Yeah.
it's all about the money.
It's
Yeah.
all about the money. So Jenna, I'm gonna put the Tron game up here so that people can
Yep.
watch it while you share with us the
He's
things.
so happy. Right, John? You made
Okay,
Matron's day.
Yes.
So I kind of summed it up in the chat, but I'm going in. I think I told y'all that I had got the referral for my 7 week long like brain treatment type thing. Well, I was born premature,
Hmm.
and because I was born premature, my neurons were wired wrong, meaning I was more prone to mental health, and I was more prone to like anxiety, depression, and all that.
Hmm.
That being said, it also caused me to have where my emotions, I couldn't process them. So I'd be feeling one emotion, but thinking that I'm feeling another. So my brain and my body were feeling two different emotions. So what I'm going through is called TMS. Now, I always forget what it stands for. But it's a big treatment that's very successful for like depression, and the FDA recently passed it for OCD, and they're working on passing it for anxiety.
Mm.
Well, it's one of those treatments for when you've tried every single thing in the book, medication, therapy, everything like that. When all those fail, is when you do this,
Gotcha.
because it's not cheap.
No.
But thankfully, my insurance covers it, like fully covers it.
Oh, that's good. That's really
Good.
good.
That is why we decided to do it, because if not, I would be paying like $5,000
Yeah.
a treatment. And it's for 7 weeks, 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day. And basically, what they do is they take a coil. So they take this coil and they put it up to the left side of my brain, and they have a certain spot, like they have a direct contact that they put it on. And your first appointment is longer than 20 minutes because they map it out, and then they put it in the same spot. So it's in the same spot every time, which is why I think my hair is kind of like thinning out in that one spot, um, which is not usual. It's not a thing that they usually. Um, oh, do I know how you deal with your emotions with anger? No, I don't. But what happens is it basically sends electric magnetic shocks to my brain.
Okay.
And when my nephews and my nieces are kind of curious about it, or when, say, like a little kid at work or something hears me talking about it to a coworker, the best way I can explain it for them to understand, and even my coworkers, is you think about a car and jumper cables. You use the jumper cables to jumpstart a battery to get it to start working how it's supposed to again. Basically, the electromagnetic pulses is jump starting the left side of my brain into working how it's supposed to again.
Okay. Okay.
And that's basically what it is. It's just making it more active.
Well, and if it's working, it's working, and I'm glad to know that. And yeah, well,
Yeah.
listen,
And
I hope that it continues to be a good treatment. I hope it doesn't have too many of those side effects. So it sounds like it
Yeah.
may be a little bit
Mhm.
they
difficult
say
to.
the side effects tend to last for like the first week or two.
Well, perfect.
Okay.
So
Um,
that's doable.
Not
It's
bad.
unpleasant.
Not
It
bad.
sounds
So
like,
and
but
the
doable.
reason I get the confused one though is because of my hypotension.
Gotcha.
Because that's the rare side effect I get is the confusion.
Okay.
But then I had I had a couple uh arcade stories.
Oh, I want to. Let's hear it. We'll do that. Segue back into arcade stuff. Let's make it as awkward
yeah,
as
Yeah,
possible.
that's what I'm trying to do.
we haven't done that a
I
few
was
times.
trying to. I was getting update out of the way and then going into that. But I remember it was like around the time GameCube was released,
Okay.
and when GameCube was released, they kept it's when they started releasing all like the ones where you like the joysticks for the TV
Yeah,
that
like
you
an
would
arcade
plug it in
stick.
and it would
Yeah,
have.
yeah. Oh, like the plug and
Yeah,
play. The
you
plug
remember
and
those?
plays. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're
Yes,
talking
it
about.
was those.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Like the Jack
remember
Specifics ones.
Yes, those Jack Pacific.
I remember having a bunch of them. And I remember one time we were for softball. We were all going to a baseball game that our coach had got tickets for.
Okay.
Because that's how our coach was. It was a long story. But anyway, they had a SpongeBob one, and we were playing it in
Oh, I'm
their
sorry. One
in their
second,
Our
Jenna.
new
van.
friends. Thank you for following.
Moxio,
Artemana.
thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate that.
Aw, that's so
And
nice.
it was an appropriate alert too. It was very arcade like. So
Oh,
Oh,
nice. I didn't get
Moxio
to
says
hear
I'm
it,
off
but
to
that's
bed.
awesome.
Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much, Moxio. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed hanging out
I'm off.
and your
I'm off to bed as well.
contributions.
I got work tomorrow.
All right,
All right,
Mike
Mike Tron.
Tron, you
Take
have
it
a
easy.
wonderful night. I'll catch you later as
You
I
well.
too.
got work too.
You
I
And
guys
got
have a
work
good
too.
one,
That's why I
and thank
don't.
you for letting me be here. And before I go, really quick, I did play the original Tron cabinet at a arcade once, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I have to find a picture and post it in the
Please
Discord for
do.
sure.
so if
Absolutely.
since you're about to walk out, if I could just get your thoughts real quickly on this cabinet since I've had it up here.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in comparison to the arcade that I played on, the original one, I feel like this one is like kind of scrunched up in a good way.
Okay.
So like let's say you wanted to get it for your bat cave or something, right?
Yeah.
That's the perfect size for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it
You
has
also the Disney
elements.
licensing in the corner.
What's
What's that?
that?
There's a Disney licensing in the corner.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, look
it
at
does
that.
right there. Yep. Tron Disney. Copyright
Sorry,
Disney.
ADHD moment.
That's right.
It's okay. I'm in the same boat. You're totally cool, my friend. It has all of the elements from the original arcade
Hmm.
cabinet, especially the glowing controller, which I find really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
So they kind of like it's like a mini version, which is cool. So
Yeah.
as someone who has Tron in their username, I approve.
Yeah, right. Well, and so here's what now I will say the only downside. Well, there's two things. $700. It's pretty pricey.
Yeah. Okay.
There's two games,
Yeah, way
Tron
out
and
of my
Discs of Tron.
budget.
But here's the thing. I mentioned this before about value. When you come down to it, we're talking about half-inch MDF.
Mhm.
We're not even talking 3/4. Like, so most arcade cabinets are 3/4 inch plywood or something along those lines. Built to last, right? Rugged, durable.
Yeah.
This is equivalent to your cheap big box store. Think Walmart particle board furniture. This is the quality we're talking about. These cabinets,
Oh,
to be
yeah.
clear, they're half-inch. Sometimes these things come damaged. That's the quality of the wood. But more egregious to me is when
All
they
right,
they
guys.
cheap
Have a
out
good night.
on. Oh, good night, Mitron.
Good night.
It's
Thank you
Yeah,
for
I gotta
letting me
head
be
out too.
here.
I got work early in the
Oh,
morning.
Jenna, I wanted to hear
Oh,
your
me
story.
too.
I'll tell. I will stop my story. I want to hear Jenna's story. Mike Tron, you have a
Have a
good
good night.
one, and I'll talk to you
Have a
later.
good
too.
night, Victron.
Nice meeting you, Jenna. And if you ever need anything, you can always come to us. All right,
Awesome.
we
Thank
got
you.
you. Mm-hmm.
Thank
All
you.
right. Good night.
Night, Mike Tron.
Good
All
night.
Night.
right, Jenna, you finish your story.
Yeah.
It sounds like you got to get going. So.
Yeah, I got work. I gotta get up early for work. So yeah, they had a SpongeBob one, but then
Yes, I
I
know exactly what you're talking
remember,
about. It looks like his face with the nose is the joystick, right?
Yep.
yes,
I know
I have
yes,
that
there
exactly
was
one.
what you're
that
talking
one, but
about.
there was two SpongeBob ones. Because I remember that one, but distinctly in my memory, I remember a pineapple one too.
I wouldn't
Yes,
be
I know
surprised.
which one you're talking about, the pineapple one. I do know which
I
one you're
don't
talking
remember
about.
playing the pineapple one. I remember seeing it.
Yes, I've seen it. Never played it. Yep.
But I did want to ask a question before I left. I
Sure.
wanted to know if y'all can do like say something about a video game, and I want to test my memory
Okay.
and show you how creepy it is.
So, like, say something or say like a video game
Like,
name.
just say anything about a video game, and I can describe and see how much I can describe it in detail.
Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Okay, so I'm with Donkey Kong Country. I immediately think of the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
I'm about 3, 4, 5 years old, and I remember in the first one, if you went backwards and went into the treehouse, there was a balloon, and you got a free life every time you played that level. And then there was also sometimes in that level when you would come out of the treehouse and you would like spin, it would spawn like a tire out of the ground, and you could get
Mm-hmm.
onto the tree to get the K, for Kong. And then I remember the alligator dudes, and then there was the swimming level. I remember the swimming level. I remember always using the swordfish. I remember being obsessed with swordfish.
Swordfish is pretty cool.
I think his name is On Guard, if I remember
That's
correctly.
right. Yes, on guard. Well, hey,
But
that's
then
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is really good.
also, what pops in my head is after talking about that is Diddy Kong, and I forget what the girl one's name was, but they're on the
Dixie.
boat.
Dixie.
Dixie, yeah. And I
Oh,
remember the
there it
colors
is.
because
SpongeBob.
oh, there it is. So with
With his big nose.
Dixie Kong and Dixie Kong, when you played with two people, Dixie Kong and Diddy Kong were two different colors for each player. And
Yes.
so there
Ah.
was a red Diddy Kong, and that Dixie was pink with blonde hair. And then the other one was, I believe, a blue or a green Diddy Kong, and the Dixie was like a purplish blue, and I believe the hair was either red like an auburn brown.
Okay.
I think you're right with the second game. With the first game, I know for sure the Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong actually were yellow. You had the yellow tie for Donkey Kong, and the hat and the shirt were yellow for Diddy Kong. They might have
Well,
changed it up.
it's the one I played on Super Nintendo. All I know is it was the one where they had the boat and the flying boat.
The flying boat.
It was.
Yeah, that would be Donkey
It
Kong
wasn't
Country 2.
Donkey Kong. There was no Donkey Kong. It was just Diddy Kong and
Yeah.
Dixie Kong.
Yeah,
That's 2.
That's the second game. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I don't think they changed the sprites at all in the original DKC, do they?
No,
No.
just a color palette. Just a color
Yeah.
palette.
Oh, did
Yeah.
they?
Well, in the
In
For
the-
2-player, yes. For 2-player,
no, in
if you
the
play
first
your own.
one.
No. Because
For
in 2-player you're just
2-player,
playing
you
DK and Diddy.
yeah, one's Diddy, one's DK.
Okay.
For the
In
original.
2-player, and then in
Right?
the second one, yeah,
But the second
well, it
one you
depends on
could have multiples. The Game
in
Boy
the second
Colors might have been.
one, everyone. Well, I'm talking about Super Nintendo now.
Yeah. Okay.
Super Nintendo was when it was in color. Game Boy Color, I still played it in black and white because I had the black and white version.
Nice.
Well, yeah, Donkey Kong Land. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
fun. That's a good game.
And then
But,
they had the
But
Donkey Kong Country as well on Game Boy Color, actually.
yeah, on Game Boy Color and
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance, Donkey Kong Country came out. That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
Jenna, that is impressive. That is quite a lot of detail from that.
Mhm.
So-
and I have not played. I'll let you know I have not played those games since I want to say 5th grade.
well, now you have
Wow.
something to
And
go
that's when
and
my
do.
Super Nintendo broke.
Now you have something to do. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's- got to fix
the
that Super
babysitting
Nintendo.
Kids,
yeah.
the babysitting kids broke my Super Nintendo, and I was like,
Oh.
Mom.
Man.
And at that time, you couldn't buy another one. But now
Yeah.
I got retro Super Nintendo on my Switch. It's not the same, but it's the same. It's
Well,
not the same, but it
pull up
counts.
Donkey Kong Country. It's on there. I think all 3, right?
Yeah,
the whole
all 3 are
trilogy.
on there.
Yeah,
Check it out.
yeah, and I have the expansion, so I have N64 and Sega Genesis as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
Awesome. Love those.
Nice.
But
Well,
I still have my
we'll have to play
original
some of
Donkey
those
Kong
games.
cartridges.
Nice.
I have
That's
my
even
original
more
cartridges
nice.
of all my Super Nintendo games.
Well, so maybe you should get a clone console at some point, or look at getting a replacement Super Nintendo off of eBay or something like that.
Yeah, or the mini.
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 Super
Mini's
Nintendos,
nice.
but they're both broken.
Oh man. Well, maybe they could be fixed. You know, they were very fixable. So who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I've had a lot of people were able to fix their Super Nintendos. It was just a small thing on the inside. It's pretty.
Yeah,
They're pretty
one of
durable
them-
systems.
How would
Yeah,
I
one
look
of them fell
bald?
from a high spot and it cracked the outside, and then it
Oh,
has a
that's
big hole in it.
unfortunate.
You can see the inside.
That might not be able to be fixed.
Yeah, that might be a bit more
That's the one
than.
the babysitting kids broke, and it worked for like a year after that, but then it just died. But
Well, Jenna,
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
was-
switch back to the
well,
arcade
yeah, I was gonna head
combo.
out, and I was
Okay.
gonna. I was
You
gonna
gotta
head
get
out,
going.
But I had a question.
Sure.
You know the movie Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
Is Fix It Felix a real game, or is it literally based off of?
Excellent question. It is.
Is it made off of Mario? Mario.
So
Mario Brothers,
it
whatever.
is inspired heavily from the original Donkey Kong, and that is
That's
you know
what I
what it
thought.
yeah. What happened, and the reason that this is very good question. This is an interesting one. So what happened is the movie came out hugely successful, great movie, and then for a promotion, there was actually a version of the game created, running essentially. I believe it. I might be mixing a couple of things up here, but I believe it was just running off of basically Sega Genesis hardware. So it's basically someone made like a version of the arcade game, kind of like inspired by what you could see in the movie, and it would run on Sega Genesis hardware. And so for a promotion at an event, they made several of these actual arcade cabinets. They made them look like Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong, in that classic Nintendo shape, and they put all the, Wreck-It Ralph or Fix It Felix branding on it. Fix It Felix branding. And then what happened is sometime later after they had done this and it got tons of play and all these people coming up and going, this is so great. they released that game. And so actually, if you go to, well, this is a great segue too. I can pull this up, but At Games Legend, which is an arcade cabinet that is from the
And
company
Nintendo
At
didn't
Games.
say anything about it.
They did not.
Everything that has
No.
And
transpired has
and
done
Harem
so
has
according to
resubscribed. Harem,
my
welcome.
design.
So
You
so
know
now
why they
they've
probably
actually
didn't say anything
licensed.
about it?
Your rebel friends to
Isn't
subscribe to
Nintendo
your
and
channel.
Disney partnered because they have
Shush,
in
quiet.
in Tokyo Disney Universal Tokyo or whatever has Nintendo Super Nintendo Land.
I
Yeah,
I thought it was
Universal
like
and
a
Disney are
yeah. I
Universal and
thought
Disney are two
Universal
separate
would be different.
properties.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, true.
So you would
but
be thinking
no,
of the Illumination with the Mario movie. That would
yeah.
be a cross promotion because that's Illumination Studios is under Universal. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the one who created Pac-Man. Sorry,
Namco. Yeah.
oh
Well,
yeah,
real quickly, I'll
Pac-Man
show.
was in it.
I wanna show you this real quickly. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Oh,
Ooh,
Dark. Hold on a
I
second.
have a question for Jenna, and for the rest of you guys. What was the
First
first
video
video
game you
game
ever
you
remember
remember playing?
Now, did you hear that?
no,
Dark
I
Solid
didn't hear
X
it.
has a question for Jenna and for us, and that's what's the first video game you remember playing. But first, before we get to that question, we have several. I've got a whole queue now, so 1 second. Bear with
All right,
me.
go for it.
First things
Has
first.
transpired
Oh my
has
gosh,
done so
and more
Oh.
stuff is
according to my
happening.
design.
Hype
So-
train, hype train.
Oh, is it a hype train now? Oh my goodness, it is. Oh my gosh, that's a hype train. Well, okay, real quick. First,
Go for
there's this. This is the.
Okay,
This-
time to get on the train. Dot, how do you suplex this thing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, Fix It Felix Jr. right here. Boom. Arcade. This is the
wow.
Legends Ultimate. It's actually on the title here. You can actually play this. It's also on the device that I have. That's the lap one version of it. But it is licensed out. I do actually have Fix It Felix Jr. That's what I wanted to share with you. Next, I gotta say Harem.
I'm guessing Sprout loved playing that.
Oh yes. And then Harem has resubscribed and resubscribed for 48 months. Dark Solid X in with 100 bits. Chrono subscribed for 35 months. We've got a hype train. We are 69% of the way towards a level 1 hype train and an emote. I'm gonna see here. I want to see if I can't give a little gift here. I'm gonna give a gift. Let's do this. I want to see it. It might contribute. It might not. I don't know.
What's Mana doing? He's up to something.
I don't know.
Just like that.
He's up to no good.
But I gotta answer this question because I do have to work
Answer
and
the
it's almost
question.
1 a.m.
Go for it.
for it.
Answer the question.
Okay, so first game I ever remember playing is actually Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Okay.
Like that's the
Excellent.
console I actually remember, first console I remember playing. And if I go furthest back, I remember playing Mario Kart and Super Mario
Nice.
World as my two first like original games because those are the ones that I can go farthest back. But then if I go into my handheld, which is my Game Boy and my Game Boy, we had Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Like we had the big silver brick,
Oh, okay.
which was my sister's. And then all three of us kind of fought over it. So then we all got our own Game Boy Colors for Christmas one year. And me being in kindergarten, I got a purple one. And my sisters got green and blue. And the reason I got the purple one is because like they were like, well, she's gonna try and steal theirs and break theirs because I'm always breaking their toys. Guess this Game Boy Color is the only one that still works and that we still own.
Well, there you go.
Mine.
Yours.
Mine, my
sure, yeah.
translucent purple. I had the
Nice.
translucent purple.
Nice.
And I remember playing Winnie the Pooh on that a lot and Rocket Power.
Oh, okay.
I had a lot of the kid games on sticks.
So apparently my gifted sub does not help towards the hype
doesn't
train,
count.
but I did gift a sub to Nomadal. I just wanted to share that real quick. So
Cool.
and
Nomadal,
Pixel Knight, I'm
I'm
not
here.
sure which rant you're discussing here, but
Oh, I got it. The rant was, I'll read it. Let me
And
find
Jenna,
it.
thank you for those memories. And also, you'll have to snap a picture of that atomic purple Game Boy and post it in the Discord.
Yeah,
I'd love to see a
that'd be cool.
I
picture.
think I have one. I think I have
Nice.
a picture. If not, I'll take one. But yeah, I have all my old consoles. I have all my old handhelds. I have my atomic purple. I have the translucent pink Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
I have my green Game Boy SP. My
Nice.
silver brick Game Boy
Oh,
Nintendo
Is that a
DS.
new subscriber?
Solid.
Welcome.
Solid is just
My black-
resubscribed.
My black and blue DS Lite.
Keep the hype train
My
alive.
light blue DSi. And then I have too many 3DSs to name off.
Awesome.
But I really gotta go to bed. I
Okay.
am sorry. It was
No
so
worries.
nice talking to y'all.
It was a pleasure. Oh, this was so nice.
Take care of yourself, Jenna.
I really missed you, and it was nice to catch up.
This was excellent. We'll
Everyone-
definitely have to do this again sometime sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
Yes, and everyone enjoy all the retro talk because Mana knows what he's talking about.
He does.
Jenna,
He does.
thank you so much. Seriously.
Real quick, Scooter, did you ever check out that thing that my uncle suggested?
I don't know if I did. You might need to send it to me if you can.
I think I just sent you what it was. It was just
Perfect.
he didn't give me too much information, but yeah.
Perfect.
All right, later.
All right. Later.
Take care, Jenna. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So,
Harem's not a fan of my light mode, apparently.
Oh yeah, I always have mine sit to dark mode too. I can't do the white mode either. I did find Pixel Knight's quote unquote rant. He says, "Okay, headcanon for what games the Bat family plays Batman himself. I can see him secretly liking retro games and Pokemon. Barbara Gordon puzzle games and Pokemon. Nightwing also Pokemon and Sonic. I would say Red Hood also does, and they argue over better Sonic or Shadow. Tim, we know, plays Final Fantasy in the actual comics. Stephanie Brown also Pokemon and Smash Brothers."
Whoa, thank you. How generous.
Oops,
Delta.
I dropped my wallet in chat.
Delta. Thank you so much for those 100 bits. I appreciate that so much.
That's funny.
Oh, man. And Harem asks, are you streaming today, Mana? Yes.
Yes, he's
for
still
your
streaming.
today. For your today. I'm
For your
streaming.
today.
Technically, I'm streaming for mine today, right? But I'm
That is
streaming
true.
tomorrow morning for me,
Yeah.
which will be your today.
It's today
because
for
time
me.
zones. Yeah.
It is today for me. As for Dark Solid's questionnaire for my first video game, it's actually Mario 3. Mario 3 was the first game I played when I was 3 years old. And took me 8 years, so when I was 11, I beat it.
And it was Super Mario Brothers for me. I played it first at a classmate's house, and I told my parents, you won't believe this thing. It's like magic. You have a controller, you can control this little character on the screen, and my parents like, oh, I've never heard of video games.
Video game.
Which they totally had, but they were like, oh, dang it, now he knows. And then my grandparents got me an NES, so yeah. But yeah, well, gosh, I'm telling you, this has been a lot of fun, just kind of going through different stuff. But
absolutely.
I'll tell you, maybe we'd wrap up the Arcade 1-Up talk with one.
Sure.
Unless you have something more. I have one more thing. Kind of one more.
I'll let you say your one thing, and I'll say one last thing, and then we can move on for whatever.
Perfect. And then, well, you know what's going to happen though.
I know. This is how we always do.
Your one more. So my one more thing. Then you'll say something, and then I'll but now I've got another one more thing because you just anyway. Okay.
Okay, let's make sure. Just one thing each, and then we call it, and then we can do another conversation.
Well, then, but
about
it's
this
no
event.
fair because you're going first, and you might make me think of no, whatever. It's all good.
I mean,
I'm
if you want me to go first,
I'm going
I'll go first.
No, I'm
Okay,
teasing.
you go first. You go first.
So, right now, this is what I want to leave it on. Okay, so I've already kind of said again. Actually, sorry, there was one other thing I was going to say about the because I was mid sentence, remember mid thought about the quality. So there's in some of these Arcade 1-Ups, obviously the wood, that's a whole thing. The build quality there, it's low. Some of them, the screens are better than others. Like the the Star Wars one has a great screen.
Mhm.
The Galaga one, not so much. Controls, I mean, they're Sanwa clones, and they're definitely not Sanwa quality, but you can swap them out easy enough.
Yeah.
But where it gets tricky is the original spinners were not very good spinners, and the trackballs are passable. The Star Wars yoke is okay. The Tron flight stick actually has been known to break. People have actually reported it's a pretty common problem. Normal use, it can break. So obviously with the Sanwa joysticks, these are easy to come by, but with some of these other parts, they're not so much. So there's actually a whole Glenn's Retro has created. Hey, and we got emotes for the hype train. Thank you, everybody. Level 1 hype train emote. I'm gonna share that. Mine looks like that right there. That's adorable, actually. I love it. We both have that. It looks like Delta.
That's, I love that both of you share your one thing at the same time. That way
Yeah,
nobody can understand anything, therefore nothing.
So Glenn, I think it's Palomino. Anyway, I can't remember. Glenn from Glenn's Retro Show has created, he created a spinner for the original Gen 1 cabinets, which was a really good quality one. And then from there, he went on to make, he has a custom Star Wars flight yoke. He also has a custom Tron flight stick. And all of these are definitely arcade quality, and they're plug and play. They plug right into the arcade 1-up cabinets. But you spend $700. So the state of these right now is you spend $700 potentially, $700 or more on these cabinets, and to really make it play well, which is probably the most important thing. You're potentially, for some of these, you're potentially looking at dropping another 100 or more, $100 to $200 just on controls. Some people go so far as to actually swap out the screens, which could be another 100 or two.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's
Should build your own.
should you build your own? And there are ways to do that. It's tough. So I think my last thought on all this, I'll share a negative and then a positive.
Okay.
So my negative is, I think right now Arcade 1-Up is just priced out of my interest level at the moment. Okay. I think they're too expensive for what you get. I don't think that it's a justifiable cost. I think that for those prices, for the almost $1,000 prices, I would want to see a better build quality in terms of fit and finish with their with a thicker like 3/4 MDF, T molding. None of this peeling side art, damaged corners. It's got to be top notch, good molded doors, games that are quality and fit a theme. They're less is more mentality, and most importantly, controls that are top notch. Now, some things like Killer Instinct, they're going into they're experimenting, so they're kind of moving towards this. But I'm surprised that they didn't do it sooner, and I'm surprised that they're expecting more. That those will be more money, because I think that's what we should be getting. I mean, heck, if you're spending $700, you should be getting that, as far as I'm concerned, for a 3/4 cabinet with off the shelf parts that do not come anywhere close to that. Now, I know shipping is a whole thing and licensing is a whole thing, but and I understand that they've got to make money, and so I do get that. But at a certain point, when we're talking about $700 for a 3/4 cabinet in your house, that is prohibitive for most people.
Yeah.
And it's an incredibly niche product. So I worry about that. But that being said, I I would like to point out 2 or 3 cabinets here that I don't have that I actually am interested in, and I'll just explain it. So, Bandai
Okay.
Namco Legacy Pac-Mania Edition. This one, along with, and it's down here, the Dig Dug cabinet right here. These are actually the same cabinets with different skins. If it were me, I would get the Dig Dug one. Because I like Dig Dug a little bit more. I have a little more nostalgia about the cabinet, but I love both games. These I think they're going the right direction. They've got excellent side art. That if you're going to do the 3/4 size with the riser, some by the way are going to have a full size, no riser kind of thing. But if you're going to do that, I love how this blends into the side art. I love the molded coin door. I love the volcano buttons on the control panel. I know we looked at this before. Nice layout, usable button layout with, even though it doesn't match the original per se, it still fits. And this is an excellent game lineup of 14 titles. Dig Dug 2, Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Pac-and-Pal, Super Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Pac-Land, Galaga, Galaxian, Galaga 88, Mappy, Rompers, and Rolling Thunder. Maybe the only thing it's missing is Ms. Pac-Man. But what a terrific Namco, cabinet that is. So that one definitely is interesting to me, though I would say the price. I think it'll show here. The price of $500.
Okay.
Hopefully that comes down, and I would consider that.
Okay.
And then another, the last one I'll share that I would be interested in does make some concessions, but I think for what you get, this is kind of like the ideal. So like both these, the Dig Dug cabinet and this one do make a couple concessions for the controls, but I think it works because Dig Dug only had one button, so they add in 3 so that it works for all the games on the list. Here's the Centipede cabinet, also $500. Same molded coin door, great side art, and what they do well, what I appreciate about this one is that it's a multicade mini games. I'll show you in a moment. A nice even layout. Volcano buttons up here. 3 trackball in the middle. Spinner up here, and the live button up there. So this works for all the games. Unfortunately, it is a 4:3 horizontal aspect ratio, portrait or landscape mode. And Centipede, of course, is portrait. But if you look at the game list, we're talking about another 14 games. Centipede, Millipede, Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Major Havoc, Missile Command, AKR, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Gravatar, Liberator, Space Duel, Super Breakout, and Lunar Lander. Many of these are actually vector games. These are classic Atari games. Some are trackball, some are spinner, some are just buttons. So as a sort of classic Atari, kind of a classic Namco, classic Atari, multicade products. Yeah. This is the way to do the sort of multicade classics. You pick one really great nostalgic arcade cabinet to use as your marquee title. You make non-intrusive, well thought out controls, and you give a killer lineup of games. $500. This is more tempting. If these go on sale, I'm maybe tempted if I'm in a point or a position where I could purchase these. I may be tempted. So those are my final thoughts. I was a little long, sorry, but I
It's
guess
okay.
I am
No,
this. I am a little bit privileged as the one who hit the go live button, so I get to just talk for a while.
it's all good. I wanted you to get it all out, but
I
I
appreciate
100%
that.
agree with you. I think that these are cool products and stuff, but yes, there has been no issues with the product itself, putting games on there that really just don't fit with what's going on, and as you said. So I feel like some of these arcade machines are worth it, especially with the legacy ones. I do like those. Just like I got the Midway one and I chose my favorite. I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2 is the one that I first played, that I knew the most. So it made sense for me to have the Marquee be the Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
So it works that way. But I definitely would say if you are planning to get these and you want to try to get the bang for your buck, is try to get one of the legacy ones that has the most games that you really want to play and find a sale on it. That's my best advice.
Yep.
Because $500, yeah, it does seem pretty worth it, but trust me, when you find them for like $300 or less, you'll be happy little camper. Then they'll definitely be worth your money.
If I could give what my perceived value is to this, to these products, I'd probably thanks Delta. I'd probably say that the Galaga machine, maybe about 100 to 150.
Okay.
Turtles, 200 or less. Star Wars, 250 or less. So what I guess I would say is if we went like 150, 2, and 250, these are the three tiers. I would expect that you could drop 250, quarter of a grand on a top tier cabinet, and then have them trickle down from there. That is, for me, at the quality I've seen with arcade 1-ups. That's my perceived value. That's the price point that I feel we're looking at something realistically. But I do recognize the caveat is I do recognize that there's licensing that goes into this and shipping that goes into it, and both of which are very tough. And profit.
And I would probably put the Midway arcade one probably in the 250 zone as well. You're definitely getting like I think maybe one or two games are on, but most of the other ones I think everyone know in some way, shape, or form.
So could you repeat that one more time?
The Midway one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a 250. I feel 250 is a very fair price with that. Because it might have two games in there. I think that no one will probably even know. But I mean, still 10 games that are very well known, like Mortal Kombat, Rampage, Paperboy. Like you're really definitely getting a bang for your buck. The only one I really wish it had, I was praying, why don't they have Marvel Madness? I was like, come on, be that one, and then they would have been perfect.
So I would put that particular cabinet in my sort of 3-tier list. I would put it as the middle, and I'll explain why. It would be the 200, and the reason is that I would reserve the 250 for the more complicated controls. So the light gun games, the driving games, the yoke, and I would put anything that uses standard joysticks, because those are so easy to obtain and so inexpensive to obtain. It's not a custom part at the lower tiers by default. So, and then the lowest tier would probably be reserved for maybe single game units or really focused games.
I would say probably like one of the first Street Fighter 2 ones.
Yeah, exactly. 150. Yeah, 150 for that. Totally. Again, that doesn't leave room for shipping and profit, and licensing, but I mean it does. Prices for parts have gone up, and so I recognize that's very real, and I'm not seeing the business end of this. But I mean, I cannot imagine that in the bulk buys that they're doing, they are spending that much on these monitors or that much on these controls. I mean, the controls themselves, you can get a very good Sanwa joystick for, well, let's look it up, but I think you can get it for about $15 to $25.
Yeah.
And buttons,
It,
the same. So
it's
these
interesting
are
that you talk about the
knockoffs.
licensing. It's interesting you talk about the licensing and the controls and stuff. And here's a good example. Now it makes me think of going back to the Simpsons one, right? So you got a big license there, Simpsons. That's a big license. So that almost puts it. If it was just a Simpsons game alone, it would probably still be in the 150, but it's one that would definitely push closer to probably the 200 just because of the license alone. However, because they put this random bowling game in there and they had the ball in there, that automatically puts it in the 250 zone just because of that, and that just it's not a quality thing.
But then the perceived the perceived value of quality of make versus the decrease of value, because the more is not always more of including this weird game, basically it's just there's missteps is what I would say. I think arcade, I want to love Arcade 1UP, I want to give them credit, but I just feel like they have made so much so many missteps, and in theory they should be dominate. I mean, they are probably dominating this market, to be honest. I don't think
I mean, they are
Arcade or
dominating, but
at games.
they are dominating the market, but they don't
They
have
made
it. Let's put it like this: it's like Nintendo with their handheld systems. There are some on the market, but nothing has come close to taking the helm from Nintendo. That's the best way to put it.
But yeah, and all of the potential companies that at games and IR Arcade have done something a little different. At games really heavily focused on the multicade aspect of it, licensing huge amounts of games. And then IR Arcade took the approach of we're making essentially a gaming system in an arcade form factor, and giving you an eShop. So both of those are great ways to do it too, and I don't knock them. I think At Games has a solid thing going. I think IR Arcade, there's enough issues that I'm not as interested in it, but I think they've got a good idea. So, but Arcade 1UP, it's like you wrote the book on this, and yet still struggle to get it right. And it's like, I know a lot of this is opinion, and I know I have my own particular perspective and opinions, but I see it so often on YouTube and on the the different forums that I'm a part of, that it does seem that there's a lot of voices that are saying similar things. They want focused systems on one particular brand, IP, or company. They want an authentic look and feel. So I'm glad they have the coin doors, and they want the quality in the screen and the controls. They want it to be a faithful recreation of high quality. And I don't know why in all of the deals, I can't imagine that X-Men machine, I can't imagine that it was Marvel's decision to be like, well, we want you to we'll give you the license for X-Men so that you can put out this Konami cabinet, but only if you throw in these two terrible Data East games. No, they're not. I mean, but no, I mean, you want it? Here you go. No, I can't imagine that was their decision.
I don't think. No, I think that was Arcade 1UP's decision, because they wanted to because you're looking at a $750 machine for one game. They're like, okay, we're gonna get 2 games in there. Yeah, I'll probably find the cheapest game that we could probably get.
And Data East gives everything away. They're just like, take it. Make
Yeah,
make your
Dave.
make your $25 handheld battery operated thing that you can buy at the checkout stand.
I'm sorry.
We'll throw all
I'm
the
sorry,
Data East
Daddy.
games in it.
Sorry, Daddy.
Yeah, every Data East game. I don't even care. Sell it for $10. I have one. I should show it to you. It's terrible.
No,
Do you want to
it's
see
so
it?
funny.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll go grab it. I gotta go grab it, and then
I'll keep it on.
we'll wrap up here pretty soon. Are you gonna stream, by the way?
Oh no, not and what's
Not now.
already
Okay.
too-
Since you already did a
No.
whole day of it, we'll keep everyone entertained for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
You can still be heard, so feel free to chat with folks.
Cool. Let's go ahead and check up on chat here. Let's see. Delta says you can silence us, but you can't silence the truth. Good point. Pixel Knight. I can talk more about the dumbest thing, like what Pokemon, the Bat family, like all of them, like Cubone because of its backstory. Oh, Pixel Knight, that's terrible. Yeah, that was a low. Yeah, ouch. It could be just a bone instead. Yeah, that's true. Pixel Knight. Jason Todd had experience blows then when the Joker roasted him. Dark Solid. For button and joysticks is less than $50. The chip for it is another 50. So monitor should be about 70 to 150. Yeah, most likely. I guess it also depends on what brand monitor they're going to use. Like an HP. There's so many different types of monitors. So do they go for a cheap end or a more expensive? Hard to tell. And then Pixel Knight. Well, you see, mana money. Mana money. Oh.
All right, so here's a little bit of a bummer. I don't know that I can fully show you this because it requires 4 AAA batteries, and I believe I'm out of AAAs right now, unless I can find some.
Oh man,
But
we
are you
have
ready
AAA.
for this?
That stinks. We have the AAAs for you.
Oh man, can you send them? Teleport them?
I can send them, but it won't get there by like a few minutes.
All right, you ready to see this? Oh, by the way,
do
you like the blue and purple? This was Mana Sprout's idea. She wanted to split the colors on the.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, so let me show you here. I might try to see if I can find some, but here we go.
Okay.
This is focus. There we go. This is scratch screen. By the way, the scratch in the screen.
Oh.
That was how it came. It was impossible to purchase. It had a sticker over the screen. It was impossible.
And it still had a scratch.
Yeah, and it was impossible to. I mean, I even took it back, and I couldn't get one with it. But it was. This is like one of those things you find in the big box stores. It's pretty inexpensive. 8-bit gaming, My Arcade.
Yeah.
Cheap plastic, scratch screen, dust behind the screen. Literally, this was in the box. Took it out. I knew what I was getting into, by the way. I was actually, I want to do a little video and a little sharing of some of these devices because they're just so goofy. But you know, cheap plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely not like the analog pocket.
This is an analog pocket. This is not right. This is
no, not even close. This is what you would give to your kids when they're like, I want something like a Game Boy, but not a Game Boy.
Yeah, spongy buttons. Yeah. It does have AV out, by the way, so I can actually. I'm gonna be able to share this. But all right, let me see. I have a remote here. I think these are AAA's. The classic Roxio or whatever. I have 2. If I can yoink 2 more from something, I can show this to you. Let's see.
Quickly check it out. Your Roku. Yes. Roku.
Yeah, right. What else do I have? I might have 2 in my battery bag. I'll go check.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Chat amongst yourselves.
We will.
No, I saw it on there, Harem. They were AAA. I saw it on there. It was I know my Roku does the AAA. Pretty sure those were AAA. But that's the problem. If you don't look at them just right, it can I mean, the biggest difference obviously between AA is just the fatness of the battery. Otherwise they almost look completely alike. That's the only difference between them. It's not comparing like a AA to 9 volts. Those obviously look completely different. I think the height is still the same, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they still have the same height. I think it's just the width. I could be wrong.
No way. Guess what?
What?
I didn't I didn't actually have to yoink anything from the old remote because I opened up the battery bag and lo and behold,
You found
I
some
don't
AAAs.
I think I must have taken these from something because I almost feel guilty putting them into this device.
Aw,
By the way,
Delta.
this is my
I for
Delta.
one welcome the Chaser the Ultimate Gamer takeover of this stream as he returns. Yeah.
Well, fine, how do you do that but actually I welcome it too. It's a pretty cool guy.
One thing
This
I
is my
want to tell
battery
you, man,
bag.
so this doesn't go away, because Pixels Knight said something pretty funny. He's like, now I can go back to talking more about the dumbest things, like what Pokemon, the Batman family, like all of them, like Cubone, because of its backstory. And I'm like, oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well,
But
I don't
you
know.
want to know the difference between batteries?
Yeah, we were talking about the difference between AA and AAA, because I thought they were the same height wise. I know that
Little
AAAs
different.
are skinnier.
Little different. So these are the
Okay.
ones that I've got right here. So that's the height
Okay.
difference.
Okay, so they do
Different.
have height difference. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay, I can see it. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, they definitely have a height difference. Okay.
Yeah. But these are the ultimate lithiums.
Yeah.
I highly recommend these batteries. If you are doing retro gaming and anything that uses batteries, whether it's Wii remotes or your original games consoles, these lithium batteries, they last a lot longer. They're really good quality, and they do not leak. That's the most important thing. I was using name brand Duracells, thinking I wanted to protect my devices against any battery leaking,
Yes.
and they would continuously leak, and I'd forget them for a month, and then I've got a leaking battery problem. These do not leak. So
Delta and Harem, if you're going to be jokingly fighting, as I can record it and put it on YouTube for some profit.
wow.
You guys are awesome.
Do you have anything for my car?
It's just for the money. I promise you.
Let's put these batteries in here.
Yes, let's take a look at this cheap
And
knockoff game.
this is the grand finale of our Just Chatting stream, which might be rebranded. I might have to rename it in the VODs to Dissing Data East stream.
And Vizio.
Well, that was you. That was part of the Chaser, the Ultimate Gamer takeover.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's still in there.
It's still in there, right? Okay, here we go. Let's turn this on.
All right, let's take a look at this. My bet goes to Delta Pixel.
So first you'll notice it's really just a 308-1.
Okay.
Listen to that music, by the way. Oh, I forgot. This is odd.
What?
So there's a slider, right, for the power. Well,
Yeah.
Interestingly, the middle section is on. If you go one more, there's that little symbol there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. See that?
Yeah.
What that is. Oh, I just turned it the wrong way. So if I go halfway, turn on. Pretty good load time. If I do the next one, there's LED buttons. Yay.
Oh.
There's these 4 buttons. The 2 main primary ones, and then the 2 up in the middle.
that's kind of cool.
light up. So I guess if I were to like shut my lights off, like in theory, I could show you, and it'd be like I could play this in the dark, but you can't see the D-pad, so that's kind of funny. Anyway,
Yeah,
right,
they should have done D-pad too. Then that would have made more sense. But whatever, I guess. Quality.
how's that for like a menu song? I think I can. Can I do the audio? How do I do the audio up? Oh yeah. Oh, how do I do the audio up? It's the giant plus and minus buttons on the side. This is like from the remote control that you get for your grandparents as a gag gift.
Oh,
I know you can't see the numbers.
Oh man, that looks so tacky. It looks very tacky.
So what you'll notice here on this 308 and 1, and Harem likes the LED buttons. So the way this works is yes, Delta. It's bobbing to the music.
It's bobbing. Now you need that bobbing cat in here.
It works. It's synced. so great. So this it's 308 and 1, and then what it does is it takes the Date East titles. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Puts them as the top 20 or so. Or no, not even the top. What is it? It's just the top. Yeah, top 8. Top 8. It's a 301 with 8 Data East licensed titles so that they can sell this. Now, we've got Bad Dudes, Breakthrough, Caveman Ninja, Heavy Barrels, Side Pocket, B-Wings, Karate Champ, and Burger Time. These are all NES versions of the Data East games, by the way. The rest it's a 301 with, such classics as Curly Monkeys.
Yes,
or Curly Monkey 2.
I know how much you've been loving At Games lately, but it's basically like what At Games did with the Sega Genesis.
Yeah. So if we were to look at the Caveman Ninja. Oh wait, how do I start? I have to say.
Cut Fruit. Yes, I'm so.
Oh my gosh! Right.
I want to play a game called Cut Fruit.
Mana is probably old enough to need one already. Oh, Pixel Knight! Are you talking about the remote? Shots fired.
Pixel, you're on a roll.
Yeah. So this is shots fired. So this is Caveman Ninja for the NES. Did it freeze? Okay. What's going on? Here we go. All right, let's just go in. Okay, so we've got the NES. Get ready, player 1. All right, so yeah, here you go. Right, it's the NES port. Okay. So Data East. Okay, but let's be fair. Okay, so there's 300 games on here, right? We're gonna do a full stream of this. Believe me.
I think you should.
Harem. We'll plug this in. I'm not gonna do it right now because that would take too much time, and I'm about to end the stream. But
no,
you can see that.
Totally fine.
Look at the view angle. Yeah, that's good if you want to play with a friend. There you go.
Oh yeah.
But let's go to the classic Curly Monkey 2, or Curly Monkeys, whatever it is.
And then we gotta check out Cut Fruit because that just sounds
Cut
like
Fruit. Okay.
Amazing. Yes, we gotta check out Cut Fruit.
All right. So here's the monkeys.
Okay, let's take a look at the Curly Monkeys. Let's see.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Oh, look at the monkey.
Oh boy. Excellent. Wow, I'm getting old jokes. I love it. Here we go. So we can throw our boomerang with what is the right button.
Okay.
And jump with the left button, which is opposite every
Oh no.
every norm and the whole thing. And there we go. And then our monkey fits in a pit. I mean,
this game doesn't look.
It's not, yeah. Hey, wait, you know what? It's not bad. We're good. I think this might actually be better than the Data East games on here. I'm not gonna lie.
Shots fired. Oh no.
So
You know what's funny? My arcade probably went to Data East and was like, okay, we need some games. We know that you will give us games. What will you give us?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm way too better for there.
Okay, good example.
They are like the Panera of fast food. They're
The
like,
Panera, yeah.
we're better than you. You're McDonald's compared to our Panera. We'll just
Yeah.
give you the NES games. Here you go.
What do we have here?
Is that okay? Is that a
This is
ninja?
actually kind of cool. But why do these games actually look and seem cooler than the Data East ones? I'm not even making this up. Is this good? No, but
At least it looks interesting.
it's yeah. I can't tell if I'm a football player or a samurai or a ninja or what.
Maybe a mixture of both. You're a football samurai.
Oh, I'm definitely a samurai. We'll get this up here proper and all this.
I think we need to see a stream of this now.
Apparently,
I think now we need one.
Apparently, there's absolutely no repercussions for just sitting here.
No,
as all the fruit
like...
just. Can I make this my screensaver? I want this to be my screensaver.
Yeah. Send me a video of it. I can totally your screen.
This might also maybe it'll end up being my my starting soon screen. Next stream. Starting soon screen.
I need the video footage, and obviously you can get that through the AV. If you can send that to me, I can make that possible. I can do it.
There's literally no repercussion for me just standing here. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll check this out. Not at games, but Data East, they put their name on that product, which was on the discount rack of the electronics section for $20, and then discounted again for $12, and I picked it up. So,
hey, we gotta see what it has on there. It's to me, it's like a stream that I have to do where I go through all those 5 and 10 cent games that I got on the Switch that I showed you before, like the Quest for the Duck.
Well, what I will say is because I have a few my arcade units, and because I want to do some streaming or whatnot with them.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they are actually unique games. So they're made for an 8-bit or 16-bit style. This actually has pretty nice graphics. I mean, this is kind of a 16-bit
I was about to say that.
look. Yeah,
it does have a Super Nintendo look.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. They're not deep games. They're not, I might say, great games, but they're unique. Somebody programmed them. They're not just ROM dumps or hacks. They're actually, this is mostly, I presume, and I think mostly on the up and up and up. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. What's that?
I think we need to go more in depth, and we need to do some research on My Arcade, see some of this came from. I think this should happen.
Yeah. All right. We'll make it happen. All right, friends.
We'll make it worth your $20 by the end.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's also do this. I want to both. I want to both look for somebody to raid if there is someone on my following list, and I also would like to thank all of the generous folks who contributed today, and really this was awesome. We had a hype train, so good. So first thing I want to say is, Rob, thank you so much for that raid. We had Bree and the Grand Admiral himself, and Moxio joining us as friends of mana. Harem, thank you for that resubscription, along with Chrono and Dark Solid X. Thank you so much for that. 13 months, by the way, Dark Solid X. That's awesome. And then we had the Cheers. Thank you, Dark Solid X, for the 100 bits, and Delta. And of course, thank you for the hype train, everyone. Really appreciate that. So really a lot of fun. And Nomadal, you're welcome for the gifted sub. Exactly. We were just sharing the love. So yeah, a little gift for you. Thank you. Nomadal has been a long time friend of Mana. And so unfortunately we are wrapping up the stream now, but I will be streaming tomorrow morning in 11 or in 10 and a half hours.
About 10 and a half. Yep. That's
10 and a half hours.
That's about right. Because you're starting at 10, which is 1 o'clock my time. So yeah.
And we'll be playing Mario Kart with the new updates and the new racetracks. And
I will try to be there for a little bit.
yes, Delta. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Fight round one. Look, they're even the bright colors. Round one, fight.
It's the next day. Mana's getting ready for his next stream. When he enters the room, he discovers the arcade on the floor, screen cracked, and batteries removed. The playdate is sitting on his keyboard. The screen is on, and it was only displaying a very concerning smile. I would have to say the playdate's going to win. Sorry.
And victory is mine.
Don't do a fatality.
Victory
No,
is
no,
mine.
it's too graphic. It's too graphic. No, no. Playdate wins. Fatality.
No, my arcade. You can't give up. No.
That's the closest you're going to get to Mortal Kombat on Mana's stream.
Pretty much. Pretty much right there. All right, friends. We're going to give my dear friend Iron Rusty a raid.
I called it.
Yep.
So called.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Playing Super Metroid Randomizer. Yep. All right. We're going to do that. Shout outs first. Iron Rusty. Yeah. And, oops. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I did the wrong thing. Shout out Iron Rusty. They are currently playing Super Metroid. So, raid Iron Rusty. Boom. Friends, tomorrow I'll see you for some Mario Kart. Should be a lot of fun. The Playdate pulls a Sub-Zero. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh.
So gratuitous. All right. So.
Pulled out the batteries.
not the batteries. Was that could that be considered assault and battery?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Man, you're done.
I'm done. All right. So on that happy note, thank you everybody. I hope that you had a wonderful time. I sure did. Thanks for chatting with me, hanging out. Scooter, I really enjoyed your presence, and for all Mike Tron and Jenna, and thank you so much. It was awesome. Do good, be well, stay safe and healthy, and I'll catch you in 10.5 hours with some Mario Kart.
Race, guys.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Start your engines. Bye-bye.
Start your engine. Bye.